earlier this year, little Earnhardt had trouble in qualifying. He crashed his race car and had to start all the way back in 37th and muscled his way through the field and ended up finishing in 10th. Well, once again today, little E's going to have a chance to pass a lot of race cars. He qualified 34th, and he's going to pit right here on the backstretch. Now, over on the front stretch is Matt Kenseth, who's just 95 points behind little Earnhardt. And the other guy to keep your eye on is Mike McLaughlin. He's third in points in 1998, but today he's on the pole.
At the beginning of this season, most people expected Elliott Sadler to challenge for the Busch Series championship. Well, it hasn't happened. A distant 9th in points and just 4 top 5s. But yesterday, it was announced that he'll be leaving the Busch Series in 1999 to drive the Citgo Ford for the Wood brothers. He has 1 win this season. Today, he starts second, looking for his 2nd win of 1998. Buckshot Jones also had a good qualifying run. He starts 3rd, 5th in points, 1 win this season. But right behind him is Mark Martin, who once won this race 3 straight times. Today, the promise of the Busch Series battles the experience from the Winston Cup Series at the track they call Too Tough to Tame.
ESPN Speed World welcomes you to the granddaddy of all stock car facilities, Darlington Raceway, for today's complete coverage of the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series Dura-Lube 200 presented by Bilo. With just 7 events remaining after today, the Busch Series points title is still up for grabs. Yeah, I know, Dale Earnhardt Jr. added almost 60 points over Matt Kenseth after Bristol, but McLaughlin, LaJoie, and Jones are still within reach. But could Darlington be the equalizer for Little E? Take a look. He has not started well, and he has not finished well here. And most of the winners in this race have come from within the top 10. Hello, everyone. I'm Jerry Punch, along with Benny Parsons and Kyle Petty. We're certainly glad to have you with us. And, guys, I know by tradition when a driver comes to Darlington, you race the racetrack. But these guys are losing ground to Little E. Do they have that luxury today?
Oh, they got to be licking their chops. I'm talking about Matt Kenseth and Mike McLaughlin. They've got a chance to pick up some points because they're starting up front. Little E's on the backstretch and starting 34th, and passing at this racetrack out is tough.
It's incredibly tough, and everybody's thinking baseball this weekend with McGuire and all that stuff. Little E's already got 2 strikes against him. Starting 34th, pitting on the backstretch. These other guys have an open count, but remember, just like Jerry said, they still have to race Darlington, and this is a tough place.
43 cars lined up to do battle for 200 miles, 147 laps. When we come back, we'll take a look at the Suzuki starting grid and wave the green flag from here at the track. Too tough to tame.
Suzuki has completely restyled the Katana 600 and 750, from their dual halogen headlights to their 4-into-1 stainless steel exhausts.
Same time tomorrow? Yeah.
So now they're just as impressive on the outside as they've always been on the inside.
In Murray, Utah, a lot of folks like to work on their cars themselves. And they come to AutoZone because they know they'll find quality parts, low prices, great selection, and helpful people like Rick Perry. Now, Rick's been around cars all his life, so he knows a thing or two about looking up parts and solving problems. And whether it's selling new parts or testing old ones, he's always glad to help. You see, when it comes to getting the right part, the right price, and good advice, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
May you next enjoy the other white meat.
Presenting a rack of pork, skewered pork kebabs, and America's cut pork chops.
Bring the royal taster.
My cat. Bring my cat. Bring my cat.
Pork, the other white meat.
You change your oil every 3,000 miles, right? You don't, do you? You push it. Now you're so busy you try to squeeze another 1,000 miles out of your oil. Or more. Well, squeeze this. Just to do it yourself when you have the time. Reformulated Quaker State. Protection beyond 3,000 miles under any driving conditions. Anybody say insurance? It's been tested. And unlike that lazy uncle nobody really likes to talk about, it works. So go get some. Quaker State. Sensible technology. What more do you need to know?
Our ESPN Speed World coverage of exciting NASCAR Busch Grand National Series action from Darlington Raceway, being brought to you by ESPN Video. Get your officially licensed NASCAR videos from ESPN Video. Our race analysis today, 147 laps, 200 miles, the track record. Michael Waltrip, by virtue of his win back in the fall of 1992, the pit window, that is for tires, not for fuel. Tires will be a big story today, and the purse almost $440,000. Today's field, a predominance of Chevrolets, including our pole sitter, Mike McLaughlin, as they come back down behind the safety car, which is a Pontiac. There are 5 Pontiacs and 9 Fords comprising today's field. Our Suzuki starting grid shows you that Mike McLaughlin, he's the pole sitter, looking right to left as they come down their front straightaway. Elliott Sadler, big weekend for him, as you've already heard from Bill Weber. Back in row 2, Buckshot Jones, aggressive young driver in the Alka-Seltzer Pontiac, and Dick Trickle, 4 consecutive third-place finishes here in Darlington. Back in row 3, the man who has won 5 times at this track, too tough to tame in Busch competition, Mark Martin, and Chad Little subbing for Jeff Burton. Back in row 4, Bobby Hellen's got a pretty good record here. This 1.36-mile oval, and former Rookie of the Year, Jeff Fuller, starting in 8th spot. Back in row 5, Joe Bessie in the Power Team Chevrolet, flanked by Dave Blaney, the rookie driver, former World of Outlaws Series champion. As you look at the remainder of our starting field, this is going to be one tough race today. And guys, they come from the high banks of Bristol to a track that can be equally as treacherous here at Darlington.
It's not only as treacherous as Bristol, but they're running 30, 40 miles per hour faster than they do at Bristol. And we showed just a moment ago Chad Little substituted for Jeff Burton in 6th spot. Well, the fact that they changed drivers, that 9 car will have to start all the way at the end of the field. The signal's been given to the cars, one more lap before the green flag is waved.
And some very, very good cars starting toward the back of the pack. Tony Stewart having to go to a backup car. There's Dale Jarrett, a 2-time winner. Jason Keller getting a sponsorship from IGA for the first time here in 1998. Ashton Lewis, a young man, and there's Earnhardt Jr. starting in 34th position. He is the points leader. There's the record holder here at Darlington, Michael Waltrip. So a lot of very, very good race cars, not only starting in the backstretch, but as you heard Ray Dunlap say, pitting on the back straightaway.
On all these cars taking provisionals, we'll have to pit on the backstretch. And Mike Wallace will be driving the car for Julius Irvin, Joe Washington, and Randall LaJoy, the defending champion, back in 43rd spot.
All right, we have a number of in-car cameras today. Here is Jason Keller's IGA Chevrolet starting back in 29th spot.
Now we see Kevin LePage at Channel Lock Chevrolet starts in 18th.
Shane Hall, the Big A Bama Jelly Chevy, he starts in 16th position.
Mark Martin will be riding along with him today on his roof, starting in 5th spot, the Winn-Dixie Ford.
And Dick Trickle, the Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin driver, the Snyder National Chevrolet. He starts in 4th.
And our pole sitter, Mike McLaughlin, as he looks back at the entire 42 cars behind him.
Field of 42 set to come out of turn 4. Exciting Busch Series action from Darlington Raceway.
43 cars ready to go. Green flag is out.
Quickly single file out of turn 2. Now they will scatter out 2 wide, some 3 wide down the backstretch. That's Robert Presley in the 59 car.
Shane Hall trying to go by Hermie Sadler on the outside. That's Hall, the red and blue car. And McLaughlin already has the 4 or 5 car length advantage as Buckshot Jones takes over the 2nd spot in 00.
McLaughlin, Jones, then Sadler. Dick Trickle back in 4th spot. Then Mark Martin is 5th. Bobby Helen 6th.
There we see fanning out that Jim Bound in 51, trying to take a look on the inside of Blaze Alexander in 20. And Buckshot closing right on the back of Mike McLaughlin, the leader.
only Buckshot Jones, the Alka-Seltzer Pontiac. Within a car length of Mike McLaughlin here in the early laps.
And check Martin trying to go high on the outside of Trickle. Will not work. Earnhardt Jr. takes a look on the inside of Glenn Allen. Earnhardt Jr. already moved up to 29th. He's picked up 5 spots in the first 3 laps. There's another spot.
Make that 28th position for Earnhardt Jr. He will now set his sights on Dale Jarrett. Pretty good driver to follow up through the field. DJ, a 2-time winner. 57 car is there. That is Jason Keller. Jarrett has just passed Keller. There's a 32 car, the White Ring Ford of Jarrett. Right behind Jim Bounds, car number 51. He just joined us. Earnhardt Jr. is the points leader to car number 3. He qualified back in 34th starting spot.
There you see the guys that have gained some spots. David Green, 6. Tracy Leslie, 6. Earnhardt about 5 or 6. This is Jason Keller's. And here's Kenta trying to get on the inside of Kevin Grubb. Oh, and Grubb wisely backs off. Lets Kenta go in the corner. This is down in turn 1.
You're seeing a lot of give and take, and Kyle Petty, it's what they tell all the drivers meeting at every racetrack, but particularly here.
Yeah, you know, we talked about Bristol a little bit before. It's hard to believe a half-mile track like Bristol can be a wider racetrack than this place is. This place is really narrow, so there's a lot of give and take getting in the corner. There's a lot of give and take getting out of the corner. You know, we've watched Dale Jr. pick up 2 or 3 positions. This is going to show his mettle right here, how patient he is, how he works traffic. You know, he started up front and won a lot of races, but we're going to see how patient and how much he has matured this year as he works his way through this pack.
All right, taking a look back at Buckshot Jones. Roy Jones will make a move to NASCAR's major leagues in 1999. A crash off of turn 2 in the backstretch.
Right in front of Earnhardt. Can he get his car stopped in time? That's David Lyndon Amick, I'm sorry, in the 35 car. Some damage to the left front. And Earnhardt gets by. We see the 3 car going by.
Shane Hall also involved in that incident. Earnhardt getting his car woed down, and that will bring the caution out for the first time today. Lyndon Amick, there's 35 of Lyndon Amick, his Pontiac involved. Carl Simmons waving the caution flag here on lap number 7.
You ever see Hermie Sadler on the inside of Shane Hall? And we see Hall gets sideways. And there the 72 car, Mike Dillon, comes along, and Lyndon Amick nowhere to go. They meet nose to nose.
Nowhere to go for Lyndon, and Lyndon's sponsored by the state of South Carolina, so he had looked to run really good here. You see the, you know, Shane Hall gets into the side really almost of the 29 car, and he tries to stay off it. When he does, it jumps out from under him. He comes back across the racetrack, collects Dillon, and goes straight back up the racetrack and gets into Amick.
Well, let's check their Big A Auto Parts onboard camera and just listen.
Tough break for Mike Dillon as well, debuting a new sponsor, the Rockwell Automation Dodge Transmission folks out of Greenville, South Carolina. Right along with Shane Hall, his Big A Auto Parts machine under caution for the first time today here on lap number 7 involving 3 cars. Back with more from Darlington after this. Stay with us.
The best show on television is coming to TNT 5 nights a week.
Rates 240 and climbing.
No, Paul, this isn't working.
Just seizing.
Somebody help her! 2 minutes out of air. Whoa, wait a minute.
See how it all began with the 2-hour movie that started it all.
Shut up and do more!
ER 5 nights a week.
What's gonna be done?
Coming Sunday, September 6th at 8 Eastern on TNT.
MDS Computer Systems on Freshwater Boulevard in Enfield is not your average computer store. Yeah, sure you say. You've heard that before. Well, as soon as you step inside, you'll see that this is indeed true. MDS offers a unique environment for all your computer needs. Besides having the latest computers on the market and a great assortment of peripherals in stock, they have a repair service for when your computer's on the blink. They also offer computer classes and have a cutting-edge digital photography department. Actually, there's not enough time in the commercial to tell you all the great things MDS Computer Systems has to offer.
As football fans, and they can get pretty upset when things don't go their way. There was no darker day in Bristol's history than when the Broncos changed their uniforms.
NFL Countdown, Sundays at 11, Mondays at 6:30 on ESPN.
Don't miss the premiere of Sunday Night Football on ESPN. Mike Patrick, Joe Theismann, and Paul McGuire from Arrowhead Stadium, the Chiefs and the Oakland Raiders. And then Monday night on ABC at 8 Eastern Time, Al Michaels, Dan Dierdorf, and Boomer Esiason will have the call as the Broncos and John Elway defend their NFL title against the New England Patriots. ESPN and ABC, the exclusive home of the NFL in prime time. We are under caution here at Darlington, South Carolina, coming out on lap number 7, and here is why.
Shane Hall. There he sits on the outside. Hermie Sadler's going by. This is the 85 car. That's the car we're going to be watching. And here he's going to lose control. A couple of cars get by. Mike Dillon, the 72 car, hits him. He spins him around, and here comes Lyndon Amick, the 35, and boom, nose to nose. Once again, riding on board with Shane Hall. Just listen.
All right, let's check in with Bill Weber.
Well, Shane Hall has pulled his car behind the wall. He sits in the car, helmet on, window net up. The crew works at the front of the car. The nose of the car has been cut away. They're cutting away some of the sheet metal on the front right of the car, and then on the left-hand side, the radiator's also caved in. So it'll be a long stop for Shane Hall. Green's back out.
All right, restart lap number 12. McLaughlin third in the points is our leader. Kenta, our runner-up in points, is in 10th spot. And Earnhardt Jr. all the way to 23rd. He has gained 11 spots in 11 laps.
And look at Mark Martin diving under Dick Trickle. And look at this as Schrader drives by 2 or 3 cars on the outside. That's Schrader in the 15 car. Todd Bodine in 30. Andy Santerre in 47. Great run for Santerre.
Good action all around this racetrack here at Darlington. There's Elton Sawyer's Barbasol car making a move inside of Hermie Sadler. That is for position.
It's obvious that Hermie, his car is not handling properly right now because he's lost several spots.
And what a surprise, Kyle Petty. Mark Martin is on the move here in a Busch race.
Yeah, we just saw Mark dive to the inside, and while everybody else was running up next to the wall, Mark was right down on the white line and took the spot away from Trickle. You know, one thing about Darlington is it eats up tires. We said it in the beginning. 50, 55 laps is your pit window for tires. One thing that some of these guys do, like the Winston Cup guys.
And almost a crash over there. Jason Taylor gets in that wall. Coming off turn 2, Kyle. Have you ever done that?
Oh, many times. That's what I quit talking because that takes my breath most of the time. Let me just say that. But that may have been what we saw a minute ago with Hermie when he dropped back 4 or 5 positions. You see one guy checks up, everybody gets bunched up, but the guys behind them have momentum and they come back. But as I was saying about the tires, Mark and those guys laid back at the beginning of the race. They were easy on their tires for the first 5 or 6 laps. They got an early caution, put a cycle on them, and now they're going to be coming on. So Mark's tires may last a little longer.
As you're watching Matt Kenseth trying to make a move beneath Dave Blaney's Amoco Ultimate Pontiac. That's the Bill Davis on car. Oh, contact in the corners.
And they're 3 abreast behind him right now as Presley tries to go by, but Presley's got LePage on the inside. And Schrader just shoulders his way past Blaney in the 93 car. Wow.
Okay, just a moment ago, Jason Keller, we're talking about his car slipping and sliding up in turn 2. Let's take a look.
There see Michael Walter going by, and and Michael got loose, and when he came up the racetrack to save his car, Jason had to back out. Oh, that wasn't too bad, Kyle.
Not too bad, but I tell you what, we saw it later. It smoked a little bit out of the right rear, so the tire must be rubbing a little bit.
All right, we mentioned Lyndon Amick involved in that first caution flag today. Ray Dunlap has caught up with him, right?
Yeah, I have, Jerry, and the damage is pretty bad on Lyndon's car. Were you able to see what happened in front of you?
I think somebody got into Shane or something. I couldn't really tell. He spun low. I tried to go high. He came back up in front of me. We had a pretty good car. I was just kind of riding around and just biding my time. It was going to be a long day. We raced fast in practice, and I was just trying to to, you know, take my time and come up through the field. Scanning people looking for a big day today, and I was too. It's just one of them racing deals, as they say.
Well, the damage is pretty bad on the race car, and it appears they're finished for the day already.
Tough break for Lyndon Amick, young man, sponsored by the State of South Carolina Tourism Bureau.
There's Earnhardt Jr. in that 3-car. Right behind Dale Jarrett, taking a look. That's the battle for the 19th position. Boy, this kid's been impressive this year.
And Dale's car really is working on the bottom of the racetrack right there. And you know, Dale Jarrett sees him coming in the mirror, runs him down, and gives him a little bit of room on the inside. And that's, you know, that's a Winston Cup driver racing a pretty daggum good Busch driver.
Well, these shots from high above Darlington Raceway, courtesy of the fine folks at Pennzoil and our Pennzoil copter cabs. You see Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car number 3 making a move inside of Phil Parsons' Dura-Lube Chevy. And that would be for position for the 18th spot.
Sadler just a second ago, he's trying to work his way back. He passed Elton Sawyer. That was provision or position.
Mark Martin on the bottom of the racetrack will take the second spot away from Buckshot Jones as you look back from the Gould's Pump Chevrolet of our leader, Mike McLaughlin. There's McLaughlin, our leader, and the 4-car looks back to Mark Martin. Well, as Mark Martin sets his sights on our leader in the Winn-Dixie Ford Taurus, we have 20 of 147 laps complete here in the Dura-Lube 200 presented by Bilo. We'll be right back.
Hey, Mr. Science, ever wonder what a hard-working engine goes through? It gets the high rev, and I drove over the mountain because it was their crap kicked out of it. With abuse like that, you don't want to take chances. This is Quaker State 4x4, a synthetic blend for hard-working engines made by guys with more college degrees than they've had dates. It's been tested. For pure maximum protection, there's nothing better. I wouldn't lie to you. They're not paying me enough. Quaker State, sensible technology. What more do you need to know?
This is the Midas Gold Muffler. It comes with a Midas lifetime warranty, and it's now just $49.95, $69.95 for select imports. Let's review. Midas Gold Muffler, lifetime warranty, $49.95. Hurry, the price of gold has never been lower.
Shuffling papers all day long requires concentration. Someone hold my calls, I'm on a Big Mac vacation.
Did somebody say McDonald's?
Before it cracks, before it peels, before it stings, before it mildews, always use Zinser first to prevent trouble before it has a chance to start. Zinser, primers, finishes, wall covering products, and mildew-proof paints. So never ever start without Zinser first.
The NASCAR Ride-Along program puts you in the action.
Now, this little fellow is a kinkajou. He's one of only 2 carnivores with a prehensile tail. Isn't he cute? Now, I also brought 2 weasels. Whoops.
What do you mean, whoops?
Shoot. Come on back, you guys.
Okay, there's a weasel in my lap. NASCAR on ESPN.
At Darlington Raceway in Darlington, South Carolina. Riding along, that's the roof cam shot from the Snyder Nash. Whoa! Contact right in front of Dick Trickle and the 0-0 of Buckshot in the outside wall. He gets it back in, but he had some pretty significant contact.
In the wall. In the wall. Wow. I don't think I'll ever forget Dale Jarrett saying that when he was going for the $1 million here in Darlington, the same spot. I'm in the wall. I don't know if Buckshot's going to be able to make it back. Yeah, he's got the car running now.
Get out of here. That's Ricky Pearson, his crew chief. Hey, got to get on around here if you can. Buckshot's car had stalled and got it refired. Take a look at the right side there. Looks like the rear end may be pushed over a little bit. If we can see what happened to him coming off turn 2.
Well, he just gets loose, doesn't he, Kyle? Oh!
he just cuts it down across the flat right there. They're passing Patty Moise, and to give her a little bit extra room, right there, it's tough to see, but he cuts down across the flat, takes a wedge out of the car jumps out on him, he corrects and drives it straight back across the racetrack in front of him.
All right, let's check in with Bill.
Well, Buckshot Jones has struggled at times this season, but this is early disappointment here at Darlington. They go around to the right side, pulling the sheet metal away on the right front and along the right rear as well. Now they come around to the left side, and they're going to go ahead and change the left side tires as well. 24 laps on the board, a long stop under green. Disappointment for Buckshot Jones. One win this season, 5th in the points. Had a great qualifying run, but his chances of winning here vanishing on pit road.
Boy, how quickly Darlington can bite you. And Buckshot with a great qualifying effort. You heard Bill say, trying to move up in the point standings. His final year to run the Busch Series, he moves to Winston Cup in 1999. There's our leader, Mike McLaughlin, the Gould's Pump Chevrolet. Looking back at the Winn-Dixie Ford, and what a record Mark Martin has at this racetrack. In the last 10 races, he has 5 wins. 8 of his finishes here have been 4th or better.
That's what Mark Martin sees as he looks out the windshield. He sees some slower cars up there that they're out of the way. Mark goes down the corner, just steers it, and right on the back bumper of McLaughlin. McLaughlin goes up the hill. Here comes Mark on the bottom of the racetrack. This is for the lead.
Well, Mark very, very smooth with his car in the corners, Kyle. Like he had almost effortlessly just turned the car left, and it just sticks.
Yeah, Mark's smooth as silk in this thing, and if you can hear it when they have the in-car camera, listen to him on the accelerator, too. Through this part of the racetrack, he runs hard, he eases up, lets the car settle down, and gets back in the gas wide open. And, you know, his hands never move that much. He goes in, he turns left right here, he lets the car go up the racetrack wherever it wants to go. See, he's not snatching it, he's letting the car do. Because every time you turn that wheel left and right, you're wearing those tires out. He's back in the gas, he drives down the straightaway here, and as he goes through 1 and 2 now, I still call it 3 and 4, I've run here so many times, you can hear him, he gets off the gas, runs down across the flat, he's back in the gas, and about 2/3 of the way through the corner, he feathers out right there. And he's feathering, now he's back in it wide open. And that's the way you drive around Darlington, because you can run wide open around this place. If you had Mark Martin when he qualified, he just barely lifts when he qualifies. And right now, he's out of the gas probably 2/3 or 1/3 of the time around the racetrack.
You know, you can really actually hear him rolling in and rolling out of the gas. And here's the guy that's rolling toward the front on the move. The AC Delco Chevy zipping by Hermie Sadler. Dale Earnhardt Jr. Benny now being shown in the top 15.
He's up to 13th already. Wow. From 34th to 13th in 29 laps. And he just dives under Joe Bessie. That's 12th. You're right, folks. He knew the answer to the question before I even asked it. But if the caution flag, now we see Joe Bessie about to lose another spot to, and Kevin Grubb in the 52 almost gets in the back of Elton Sawyer in the 38 car.
Kevin Grubb had made a pit stop about 10 laps ago. They came in and changed tires under the green, so he has lost 2 laps in the pits. He's running back in 38th position, 2 laps down.
And that's why his car is so much better than the other cars with those fresh tires. It's amazing what fresh tires will do to your car. It'll take the slowest car here and make him the fastest car here.
You feel like a hero when you get 4 tires on here. Some places are that way, some places are not. But Darlington, you go out and you can run with anybody in the world with 4 new tires.
Couple of Winston Cup veterans running nose to tail. The 21, the Band-Aid Ford of Michael Waltrip. And the 32, the White Rain efforts of Dale Jarrett. They're back in 16th and 17th spot.
And down in the pits is Bill Weber with one of the points contenders, Bill.
Buckshot Jones, you're behind the wall. What happened and how's your car?
I don't know, we just caught some lap cars. They gave us plenty of room and just maybe got it a little bit too low, trying to be too safe, and just got it loose and lost it. You know, I hate it for this Bay Rock and Silver Pontiac. We're going to have a good run today, but that's the way things go. We'll just try to get it fixed and get some points.
Okay, that's the big battle. He's losing a lot of points here behind the wall.
up front as you watch Mark Martin make a move down running the 56 car.
Jeff Crow, McLaughlin gets by. That's a tough place to make a pass, but McLaughlin pulled it off. Dick Trickle in third place car.
Boy, Trickle has a pretty remarkable record here in Busch competition at Darlington. The Snyder National Chevrolet, owned by Dennis Shoemaker, Dick Trickle. Running awfully well. Mark Martin, McLaughlin, Trickle, Hillen, and Kenseth in the top 5. Back in just a moment.
Nix on Yankenko. Hi, y'all are some more. I'm glad for you to see me. Boom. Here we go. Cut it off.
Toss it.
That's looking good already, and I haven't even done anything to it.
Nice and thick they are.
Marbling through it.
It's like a concert. Oh, done. People are wild about it in the restaurant.
People love this dish.
I love pork so much. Come here, pork chop. Pork. Pork.
Pork.
Pork.
Hey, guys, we're popular again.
Yeah, with mashed potatoes.
That is good, I guarantee.
You change your oil every 3,000 miles, right? You don't, do you? You push it. Now you're so busy you try to squeeze another 1,000 miles out of your oil. Or more. Well, squeeze this. Mr. Do-it-yourself when you have the time. Reformulated Quaker State. Protection beyond 3,000 miles under any driving conditions. Anybody say insurance? It's been tested. And unlike that lazy uncle nobody really likes to talk about, it works. So go get some. Quaker State. Sensible technology. What more do you need to know?
In Denton, Texas, a lot of folks who work on their cars go to AutoZone because they know they're going to find quality parts, low prices, great selection, and good people like Tom Robinson. You see, Tom's the kind of guy who really likes to help folks out. And since he's been around cars most all his life, he knows his parts, too. Oh, sure, there are other parts stores in town, but when it comes to getting the right part, the right price, and good advice from folks like Tom, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
We asked Jim Yates, NHRA Winston Pro Stock champion, why he chose split-fire spark plugs.
The legendary split-fire Performance V Advantage, because performance is everything.
To show off their renovated rooms, Motel 6 is doing its first big special effects commercial ever. Here goes. Cool. I'm Tom Bodette, and we'll leave the light on for you.
Mark Martin showing the way here in Darlington Raceway in Darlington, South Carolina. You want more information about Mark Martin? How about stopping by your newsstands and picking up this week's issue of ESPN the magazine, featuring Mark Martin in the crosshairs, an examination of his ups and downs this season, as well as a complete NFL preview. ESPN the magazine at your newsstands now. Well, I'll take a look at Dr. Darlington Mark Martin. 22 starts, 5 wins, 5 poles, 9 top 5s. 15 times he has led the race, and take a look at all the laps he has led at this egg-shaped oval.
And we're talking about this is in the NASCAR Busch Series. And we can see just barely pulling away from the 34 car. Mike McLaughlin now has about a second lead on McLaughlin.
Now, we showed you at the top of the show, it wasn't fuel mileage that was the critical determination of when they're going to stop today. It was actually tire wear and tire strategy. With more on that, let's check in with Ray Dunlap.
Well, Doc, right now in the race, we're at lap 38, and 2 laps ago, Dale Earnhardt Jr. called in and said, boy, are these tires starting to give up. The car is very loose coming out of turn number 2. There is some action down here in the pit area. They're taking a look. Yep. Oh, I'm back. Sorry about that. They're taking a look at these tires down here, but when I talked to Tony Uri before the race started, he said if we were under a long, long green flag run, he was hoping they would go 70 laps on tires, but a lot of other drivers told me 50 would be the maximum.
This would be a huge break for Dale Earnhardt if they could make a pit stop on the green flag, because he's pitting on the backstretch. There's not really a disadvantage there pitting on the backstretch. It's only when the caution flag comes out that pitting on the backstretch is such a huge disadvantage.
Yeah, he's running. Dale Jr.'s running like 12th right now. If they pitted under caution, he could fall as far back as 32nd or 33rd, because that's just the way, those are the cars that are still in the lead lap, and that's just the way pitting on the front stretch to the back stretch works at most of these racetracks.
And there is Matt Kent at the Lycos.com Chevrolet. You look right in front of Kevin LePage out of his channel lock roof cam. LePage has gained a number of spots, 12 spots from 18th to 6th. Kenseth in 5th position. You just joined us at Bristol, Tennessee. Matt Kenseth finished 34th, effectively losing 57 points to Dale Earnhardt Jr. He came into today 95 points behind Earnhardt Jr. He has climbed his way up to 5th spot, although he's being challenged by LePage in 6th position.
Patty Moise and the Shane Hall cars back on the racetrack. Patty just made a pit stop a moment ago and changed tires.
And there's Todd Bodine, the car number 30, the Slim Jim Chevy. He is being shown back in 7th position
after starting 22nd. So Todd's got a great run going today.
Great shots from overhead of this track too tough to tame, courtesy of the fine folks at Pennzoil and our Pennzoil copter cam. If you take a look at Todd Bodine's progression, a little over 13 seconds back from Mark Martin. Now, where is Dale Earnhardt Jr.? Started back in 34th position. You heard the report a moment ago, the tires starting to go away. There he is, headed down the backstretch, being shown right now in the 11th spot.
He's picked up one more spot. These cars qualified over 160 miles per hour, and now the leader, Mark Martin, is down running 148 miles per hour. Folks, I'm just trying to tell you what difference new tires will make on these cars.
Heavy traffic now for the leader right in front of Mark Martin as he makes his way, tiptoes through there. And Kyle Petty, a veteran driver like a Mark Martin. I'm even impressed with Dale Earnhardt Jr., how he has turned back the throttle, the wick a little bit when these tires start going away.
Yeah, and that's what Dale has to do. Dale Jr., you got to remember, he started 34th. He used his tires going from 34th to 11th place. Mark started 4th or 5th. He laid off his tires a little while. Now he's been able to stretch it a little bit and run a little better. Mark's tires are probably better at this point in time, but Mark's conserving them too. Dale Jr.'s got to lay off his until he can get in the pits, get some new tires on, and then go back out. Then Dale Jr. needs to lay off of them a few laps and let him come in, and he'll get a few more laps out of him the next time at the end of a run.
All right, here comes Joe Bessie down pit road. One of the first cars to stop here on lap 45. Bill Weber?
Jerry, 45 laps on the board, and these are the beginning of routine pit stops. They will make a chassis adjustment to the Power Team Chevy. Bessie with a strong qualifying run, but right now the tire's going away, and the handle goes away with it too. So he's hoping everyone will have to stop on the green, but he only made it 45 laps on his first set. They make the chassis adjustment, they put in the fuel, they tighten the lugs on the left side, and Bessie returns to the race.
All right, tires were going to be a factor. They were concerned when they qualified the tires may not make it 25 laps. But as the weekend progresses and as this race progresses, more and more rubber, the tires should make it even longer.
Now we see Mark Martin's back there. He's caught Jason Keller. We saw Jason hit the wall earlier. The last lap, Mark Martin was only able to run 144 miles per hour. He has slowed down 4 miles per hour trying to put a lap on these cars. But obviously, Jason Keller and all the cars in front of him, as Jason Keller goes by Randy LaJoy, you know these cars want to stay in that lead lap, but Randy LaJoy will not be able to do it.
Of course, LaJoy, the two-time and defending champion of the series. Got to wonder how far our leader is going to try to push it before he decides to make his first pit stop. We'll check the speeds as they come by. As you heard Benny Parsons say a moment ago, the speed was down to 144 miles an hour last time. Well, let's pick back up just a little bit.
And we see the cars back there that's not working traffic right now will be the fastest cars. Bobby Hill in that time, almost 149 miles per hour. And go back, Michael Walker, almost 150 miles per hour. But it's cars that have clean racetrack. And finally, Mark is able to put that lap on Jason Keller. 148 miles per hour. You see Dick Trickle, the fourth car in line there, is caught up with him. He's about 3 or 4 seconds behind, but now he's just about a quarter of a second behind Mike McLaughlin.
There is Trickle in the car number 64 in third spot. Great run behind him for Bobby Hillen in the car number 8. There's a top 5. Martin, McLaughlin, Trickle, Hillen, and LePage as we approach 50 laps. Back in a moment.
What if you had to choose between a flower and an elephant? What would you choose? What if you had to decide between a 100-year-old tree and a 1,000,000-year-old beach? Could you choose between drinking clean water or breathing clean air? Now you can choose all these things. EarthShare, the world's leading environmental groups working together. It's one choice we can all live with.
You planned for your children's education. You planned for your retirement. You even helped plan your family reunion. You know that planning ahead makes good sense. So why not let Leet Stevens Family Funeral Homes help you plan your funeral? Pre-planning takes the burden off your children and allows you to make your own personal choices. Leet Stevens Family Funeral Homes with 3 locations: South Road in Enfield, Spring Street in Windsor Locks, and Main Street in Somers.
Football, ladies and gents, with the Raiders and the Chiefs.
He's not a pirate, you stoop. He's a Raider.
He's a bloodthirsty pirate, a swashbuckler. He's ready for battle.
Yeah, but he's wearing an eye patch. They can't even see straight.
He's got a knife in his mouth. He's fearsome.
The knife isn't in his mouth. It's through his helmet.
Another good point.
Is everyone against me? ESPN Sunday Night Football. The Raiders against the Chiefs. Coverage begins at 8:15.
Back at Darlington, South Carolina, over a third of the way through, and the Winn-Dixie colors are showing the way for Martin Martin as our Speed World coverage continues. 147 laps are in the books, and Martin trying to get his 6th win in Busch Series competition. But pit stops cannot be that far away for our lead group.
Now we see Mike McLaughlin going a lap down. Mike Wallace went a lap down the 50 car. There's McLaughlin in the 34 car. He's the second place vehicle. We see Glenn Allen, 99, is now a lap down, and Trickle's not going any place. That 64 car is right there. But how long are these guys going to stay out there with these tires? They all want to go in the pits, don't they, Bill Weber?
The drivers really want to pit, and the crew chiefs are encouraging them, stay out there, you'll be okay, you'll be okay. Really, it depends on what the leaders do, but a lot of guys are talking about lap 65. The one thing you remember about Mark Martin, he's very good on his tires. He's a guy that could conceivably get to halfway, and that would hurt a lot of drivers. Some guys are going to have to roll the dice and pit before them, but lap 65 appears to be the magic number now.
All right, that's about 11 laps away, but let's see that pit stop as you watch the 64 car of Dick Trickle trying to get by Glenn Allen, Luxair Chevy, the Bill Papke-owned car. Once again, Allen is a lap down, the 1996 Rookie of the Year.
And we see Kevin Grubb, the 52 car, I'm sorry. Now he pitted and changed tires, and we can see that he's just passing cars at will.
Saw that graphic where Dick Trickle has finished 3rd in the last 4 races that he has run here. Well, he's running 3rd again today. There's the Clean Shower Chevrolet for Bobby Hill and what they call the Big Mac Attack machine. Mark McGuire, one of the owners, one of the number of baseball players that owned that car, co-owned that machine. Best career finish at Darlington, a good one, 4th back in the fall of 1990. He is running in 4th spot today. He's always run pretty well. In fact, on the quarter panels of this car, they have the exact home run number. They keep it tabbed every day. It has 59 on the lower left side of that quarter panel in the yellow. It says number 59. Mark McGuire's home run number that I'm sure before the weekend is out, probably Monday night, we're going to have a new record on that Mac Attack machine.
See Hillen closing up, trying to close up on, and we see Phil Parsons in the pits.
Gene Need and the guys working to change tires on that car. The Dura-Lube machine. Phil had that great run up at Bristol, Tennessee in the Food City 250, finishing second a couple of weeks ago. Now comes down pit road very deliberately. Jim Bound's red car at the top of your screen coming on. You heard Bill Weber say a little bit ago, there's Jim Bound's machine. He had a great run here last year. In fact, almost won this race. A broken axle while leading off of turn 2. And now still looking for a sponsor to get back full-time involved in the Busch Series competition, making only his 5th start. There's the Rhodes Furniture car. Patty Louise.
She just hit the wall over in turn 2 just a moment ago. We can see that there's not a lot of damage to the car. I think we got a replay on that. We can show you that Patty, the car on the outside, the white car. She goes up and just ever so slightly brushes the wall. Now all these cars that are making pit stops, they all hoping and keeping their fingers crossed right now that the green will stay out until at least the leaders make their pit stop. As we see Chad Little come down in pit road. Bill Weber.
And Chad Little made it 59 laps. Of course, he had to start at the rear of the field. Relief driving for Jeff Burton, who watches from the pits. They changed right side tires, and they do make a chassis adjustment. All these stops will be 4 tires, so they go around to the left side. They'll bolt on the left side tires, top off the tank, and send Jack back onto the track in the track gear 4.
Wondering about Jeff Burton. Jeff Burton had had the flu all week, plus he was awfully sore from that contact up in New Hampshire into the wall Friday a week ago. There's the guy they're chasing, Mark Martin, just going by Andy Santerre, our leading Rookie of the Year contender.
And Andy's running in 22nd spot, so right now just 21 cars on the lead lap as we see Kevin Grubb still continue forward with those fresher tires.
Now this race is 147 laps, so being 74 laps is halfway, and these guys aren't going to make it. Here comes Mike McLaughlin's Gould's Pump Machine down pit road, headed to you, Bill Weber.
And he'll have to come all the way to the far end of pit road. He's got the very first pit, so that's an advantage when you're pitting under the caution, but not necessarily now. You have to creep all the way down here to pit road. This will be a 4-tire stop for a man who is sitting on the pole and then pits as our second place car. So Mike McLaughlin finally makes it down here in his Chevy. They go around to the right side. This will be a 4-tire stop. And of course, fuel. They have not had any problems with the car so far. McLaughlin sits in the car calmly, gets a drink of water. Right side's already on. Big guy with the jack comes around. One pump, it goes up. They change left side tires. And Magic Shoes will head back out on the track. They rip off the plastic off the windshield. And he heads back out. His 17 car has been on pit road, and he'll be coming in now to make his stop. So Matt Kenseth coming on to pit road with 62 laps on the board. Mark Martin's crew believes that he will be able to go halfway. We'll have to wait and see. Right side tires going on for Kenseth, number 2 in the points. Up around to the left side. His car's been running well here so far this afternoon. Gets his left side tires, all the fuel's in, they'll both close on. We'll have to watch pit road traffic. And then Matt Kenseth will return to the race. Dodges one car, a lot of green flag stops here now. 20.4 seconds for the 17 crew.
Not a bad stop for Robbie Reiser and the company. There's the guy that they're waiting to see when he's going to stop the Winn-Dixie machine as Kevin Grubb goes by, but Grubb had already pitted for fresh tires. Mark Martin still on the racetrack for the Winn-Dixie Ford, leading the way. We'll come back and catch his pit stop in just a moment from Darlington.
This young man is about to save a life. Would you know what to do? If you arrive first, have someone go for help.
Don't move. Hey guys, call for help.
Then, to reduce the risk of fire, turn off the car's engine. Don't take chances if a car is burning. And never move a victim unless it's absolutely necessary. Learn more in this free book from Shell. Count on Shell.
Never before has there been a cruiser as comfortable as the Suzuki Intruder 1500 LC. A bike so smooth, so impressive, you'll want the end of the ride to be just the beginning.
To thank the greatest fans in sports and to close its 50th anniversary season, NASCAR offers you a chance to win a fantasy trip to the Napa 500 in November. On September 27th, during ESPN's coverage of the NASCAR Winston Cup Series race from Martinsville, we will announce a special phone number. When you call that number, you will be given 4 NASCAR-related questions. Answer them correctly, and you could be one of 10 fans to win this exclusive behind-the-scenes experience. Check out NASCAR online and NASCAR Winston Cup Scene for details and a sneak preview of the questions.
Thursday Night Football. Wake Forest has an offense with the ability to score at any moment, led by quarterback Brian Cookler.
And they'll test their skills against Navy. Thursday game night at 7:30. Navy versus Wake Forest, Thursday at 8 on ESPN.
Back at Darlington Raceway in Darlington, South Carolina. Mark Martin is our leader. We are at lap 64. It'll be 65 complete this time by. The crew is talking about him possibly pitting very soon. Here's the 4th place car, the clean shower machine of Bobby Hillin, as the crew goes to work on that car on the right side. Matt Kenseth has already pitted, 2nd in points. Also McLaughlin, our pole sitter, has been on pit road. Now 4 tires, left side tires for the Mack Attack Chevy for Bobby Hillin. There comes Tony Stewart down pit road in his Pontiac. Randy LaJoy also on his way in. Let's check in with Ray in the backstretch pits.
Well, Jerry, he had worked his way all the way up to 17th, and they are making a major chassis adjustment. 3 rounds on the left side and 1, 2, 3 rounds in the track bar on the right side. They're going to go with 4 tires and fuel back here. LaJoy made it in here on lap 66, and a pretty routine pit stop, and he's down and away.
All right, Dick Trickle running in 2nd spot, in for his pit stop in the Snyder National machine. Dennis Shoemaker-owned car as he heads toward you, Bill Weber.
And this should be a pretty good pit stop. These guys are very good at it. Trickle's going to get 4 tires gas. They are going to make an adjustment to try and improve the handling and change the air pressure just a little bit. Trickle slides to a stop. 67 laps on the board. Remember, this is a 147-lap race. Some of these guys wanted to get to halfway. Trickle could not. Right side tires going on. They'll get a 2nd can of fuel, and they'll come around and put on the left side tires. So basically, it looks like the adjustment they're going to make is with air pressure only. Left side tires going on. They'll bolt them on, and Trickle will return to the race. Still waiting for Elliott Sadler, Mark Martin, and Kevin LePage to make their stops.
Well, if you're wondering if the Winn-Dixie crew is getting prepared for a pit stop, well, they're looking pretty cash right now. There's the car they're waiting to pit, and they must be going to try to make it all the way to halfway, which would be about 6 laps away. The Winn-Dixie Ford, Mark Martin showing the way here at Darlington, South Carolina. Bobby Leslie and company.
Also, Dale Earnhardt Jr. still has not made a pit stop, as Dale Jarrett, Michael Walton, Kevin LePage, Elliott Sadler, all these cars evidently trying to make it on 1 pit stop.
They're just sort of hanging out down there, Kyle. No one's really excited right now. It's sort of just being very casual there. Maybe say, we got a full pit maybe in 4, 5, 6 laps. Everybody else has just come screaming down for tires 15 laps ago, and they have yet to come in.
When you got Mark Martin driving your car, you can be casual like that because you know he's out there leading the race. Here comes Elliott Sadler down pit road, but you know he's out there leading the race. He's being easy on his tires. He's been easy on them before.
All right, Bill, what's Sandy Jones and the crew going to do?
Well, Elliott Sadler's been fairly happy with his car. He's been able to hang in the top 10, so he's going to get fuel and 4 tires, and they will make a wedge adjustment and a slight air pressure adjustment as well. Of course, yesterday it was announced that Elliott Sadler will go to Winston Cup next year. He only has 1 win this season. He wants to finish strong for this team. He says Gary Bechtel's treated him very well. He's got his right side tires. He gets a wedge adjustment on both sides, left side tires, and he heads out. Kevin LePage is on pit road. He'll get right side tires at the far end of pit road, the fuel going in. Chassis adjustment on his car as well. This is to try and help these teams. Obviously, as the tires go away, you want your team and your car to get stronger, even on the new rubber. Left side tires go on, the fuel is in, and Kevin LePage will return to the race. A little longer on the left side, car still on the jack. Now they drop it, and he returns to the race. Ray Dunlap is waiting for Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Well, that's right, Bill. I just listened in on the radio, and they said, I think we ought to go with Mark Martin. Mark is going to come in on lap 74, but Tony Uri said, let's not take a chance. Let's get that car in, and he is on his way down pit road right now. Now, there's a couple of tires out on pit road, so he's going to have to make a wide swing to get in here to his pit box. It's going to be 4 tires for sure, and Earnhardt brings the AC Delco Chevrolet, and they go to the right side, and it appears there is not going to be a chassis adjustment, so he is very happy with the race car, other than the fact that they've just got worn-out old tires on there. 4 tires on this pit stop. The crew swings around to the right side. Dale Earnhardt had worked his way all the way up to 4th place, and now with the green flag, he leaves the pit road and back out to the track.
19.8 seconds, and as you said, they could not afford to wait. Martin's trying to win a race, but this guy's trying to win a championship. They could not afford to gamble on those worn tires anymore. Tony Erie making a call. Well, what about Mark Martin's crew? They must have sent someone out for lunch. Well, maybe they are getting ready now. They've gotten up and getting ready for the Winn-Dixie Ford driver, and indeed, he peels out of turn 4 and heads down pit road toward Bill Weber.
And he'll have a long creep down pit road as well. But Bobby Leslie talking to him on the radio, basically coaching Mark through his pit stall. The car has handled very, very well from the drop of the green flag. As Kyle mentioned, Mark did save his tires early, then he took him to the front. He'll get 4 now at the halfway mark of this race, a fresh drink of water. They did not plan to make a chassis adjustment. And I asked this crew at about lap 45 if they were going to be able to get to halfway, and even at that time, they knew they were. So Mark Martin is having another great run, getting 4 tires, a smooth pit stop, all the fuel is in, and Mark Martin returns to the race. Ray Dunlap.
Well, Bill, it was back in...
All right, Michael Walters, Band-Aid forward.
And the car fell off the jack. Michael's car is falling off the jack. Doggone it.
Monty Silver and the crew servicing the right side of that car. That jack problem cost them about 3 or 4 extra seconds. Now the left side of the car going up. Michael Walters first and possibly only pit stop of the day. They got it full of fuel. Still trouble with the left rear tire, Kyle. Can't get it on.
He's real close to the wall. You saw the jack guy almost couldn't get the car jacked up. He had to pump it 6 or 7 times, short pumps, to get it jacked up. And that pit stop's been a disaster for Michael, and he's worked his way from the back of the pack to run in the top 10.
As a matter of fact, when he pitted, he was the leader of the race. When Mark Martin made his pit stop, that made Michael Waltrip the leader. He goes in, but we can see that with all that trouble he had on the pit stop, he will lose a lot of ground to Mark Martin, the 34 car McLaughlin. And right now, Dale Jarrett still has not made a pit stop.
Dale Jarrett's White Rain Ford waiting to make his pit stop.
I guess he just pitted. So when Dale Jarrett goes in the pits, this puts Mike McLaughlin now the leader of the race.
That's where we started today. McLaughlin, the pollster, showing the way here just past the halfway point. We are 2 laps past halfway in the 16th running of the Dura-Lube 200 presented by Vilo at Darlington. Yeah, it's a NASCAR tradition. Back with more of it in just a moment.
I'm loose. Coming in, guys.
Look! Bill's in trouble. Don't worry, Bill. We'll take it from here. Go, 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 Bill! Here!
Where can you always find a fast and friendly drive-thru crew? Did somebody say McDonald's?
A demonstration of Big A's quick service. And now a closer look.
That'll work.
For fast service, go to the pros.
Husky, the toughest name in tools. Guaranteed forever. Available at the Home Depot.
When partying with your buds, be sure to choose a designated driver. It's the perfect pick-me-up. A message from your friends at Budweiser and O'Doul's.
Great party.
This young man is about to save a life. Would you know what to do? If you arrive first, have someone go for help.
Don't move, don't move, don't move. Hey guys, call for help.
Then, to reduce the risk of fire, turn off the car's engine. Don't take chances if a car is burning. And never move a victim unless it's absolutely necessary. Learn more in this free book from Shell. Count on Shell.
NASCAR racing at Darlington Raceway. And what a Labor Day lineup we've got from you from the track too tough to tame. Tonight, happy hour, 9 o'clock Eastern time on the Deuce. Tomorrow it kicks off at noon Eastern, RPM today, followed by NASCAR today at 12:30 Eastern. And then Ned Jarrett, Bob Jenkins, and our entire Speed World crew, John Kernan, will join us for our live flag-to-flag coverage of the 49th running of the NASCAR Winston Cup Pepsi Southern 500. And then from Vancouver, the Molson Indy Vancouver, that is IndyCar Racing, 5 Eastern time, the Kart Series, tomorrow after our stock car coverage from here in Darlington. Now our leaders right now, car number 34, Mike McLaughlin, and that's a separation between McLaughlin and Matt Kenseth back in second spot.
That's about a quarter of a second as these cars go down in turn 3. McLaughlin goes up high on the racetrack, and Kenseth keeps his car right on the bottom of the track as they catch Mark Krogh in the 80 car, and McLaughlin just blows right by. You see Blaze Alexander going a little slow around the racetrack. Let's see as they peel off, going 3 abreast down the corner. That's Dick Trickle on the inside, Blaney in the middle, and Blaze Alexander goes almost to the wall and does touch the wall. I've been in that situation before, haven't you, Kyle?
Yeah, I was going to say, and this is Darlington. You can just barely run 3 wide down the straightaway, much less going off in a corner. But that's 2 inexperienced drivers a little bit. Blaney and Blaze on the outside, with Trickle just stuffing it in there because he's been here a million times before, and he knows that he's got the cushion on the outside with those other guys.
All right, our AutoZone race recap. The Gould's Pump Chevrolet driver, Mike McLaughlin, being shown as a leader, has led 35 of 83 laps. There have been 3 lead changes. Only 1 caution flag coming out of lap number 7 for 4 laps. The average speed, 136.653 miles per hour. Our leaders, Mark Martin has led the most laps. McLaughlin, 35 laps, and Dale Jarrett led a lap in the pit stop exchange. Off the track, the 0-0 of Roy Buckshot Jones, who came into the day 5th overall in the points. They're trying to get that car back on the racetrack after contact with a turn 2 wall. Out of race, Lyndon Amick in the car number 35. He was involved in that first caution flag.
Oh, now we see Kenseth is trying to run that high line. He's trying all kinds of different grooves, trying to find out which is the best. See if he can run down that 34 car. That's Kenseth in the 17, the Lycos Chevrolet, running in second place. Hermie Sadler in the 29 car is in 14th position. He's a lap down to these guys.
There's Mark Martin's car number 60, the Winn-Dixie machine, has finally made his 1 and probably only pit stop of the day. Being shown back in 3rd spot as you look at our field summary, showing you where your favorite drivers are running. There's a 64 car, the Snyder National Trucking car for Dick Trickle. That's the roof cam, back in 4th position for Trickle. Once again, it's McLaughlin, Kenseth, Martin, and then this car, Dick Trickle. Behind him would be Todd Bodine.
Todd is right behind Trickle. There he is, a Slim Jim Chevrolet. He is in 5th spot. He's about 12 seconds behind the leaders. Kenny Schrader is our next car. He is running in 6th place. The Oakwood Homes Chevrolet. Good run for Kenny.
Back in 7th would be Bobby Hillen, the great run he's had going this year.
And Hillen must not be liking the tires or the setup with this set of tires that he changed just a moment ago, because Schrader just passed him a couple of laps ago. We can see that he's driven away from Hillen, and right now we've got David Green up there trying to get by Hillen.
What about the tires, Bill?
Well, Jerry, I've had a chance to talk to the Goodyear engineers and a couple of Winston Cup crew chiefs and some of the Busch crews here along pit road. Tire wear is remarkably good, especially the set that came off of Mark Martin's car. And of course, with more rubber being put down on the racetrack, tire wear should improve through this race and through happy hour and for the Winston Cup race here tomorrow. So tire wear, a concern today and for tomorrow. Those concerns may be going away. For more, let's go to Ray.
Well,
Well, Bill, when we saw the round of pit stops back here on the backstretch, a couple of things happened. Number one, Michael Waltrip, Dale Jarrett, and Dale Earnhardt got to halfway, so we know that they could go the rest of the distance. If there was no caution, they would stay out there naturally and not come in for another pit stop. Now, DJ made a pretty major change to his car. He changed the air pressure on the rear tires, bumped up the spoiler, and made a track bar change, but he said his car is really, really good right now, and he's running an 8th position, so if there's no caution, these guys will probably just stay out there.
All right, you saw Dale Earnhardt a moment ago. Dale Earnhardt Jr. take the 9th spot away from Robert Presley. So the guys that are chasing him in points, McLaughlin and Kenseth are 1st and 2nd. Earnhardt Jr. now in 9th spot. Sets his sights on Dale Jarrett, the car number 32.
And we see McLaughlin trying to get by some traffic. That's Joe Bessie. Joe Bessie's a couple of laps down, trying to keep him going that 3rd lap down. That's Chad Little there in the track gear forward. And here goes McLaughlin on the inside of Bessie, and Bessie somehow knew he was there. You kind of feel him there, don't you?
Kind of feel him there. It didn't look like Bessie felt Kenseth there for a minute, but you know, you kind of know that there's another car there, and spotters are helping. One thing that has become apparent here is some of these guys on a 2-pit strategy, some of these guys are obviously on a 1-pit strategy. And inside the top 10 or 15 cars, the cars that are still in the lead lap, some of these cars have to pit again. You know, like Ray mentioned, the 3-car doesn't, the 32-car Dale Jarrett doesn't. Obviously, Mark Martin doesn't. Mark Martin's running 3rd right now, but he doesn't have to pit again. Kenseth and McLaughlin may have to pit again.
That's right. And right now, this traffic is really working into Mark Martin's hands, because he was about 7 seconds behind and really taking it easy, trying to save those tires. Now he's 3.5 seconds behind and not having to use his tires to catch up, because traffic is helping him catch up.
92 laps in the books of 147. How will the pit strategy play out? Will the Winn-Dixie car be able to make it all the way and possibly get up another win? We'll find out when we come back to Darlington in a moment.
Nobody loves cars more than I do. Each one is a work of art. So when the maker of all these chose a new antifreeze, it got my attention.
General Motors now uses the deck school technology of Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze in virtually all its new vehicles. The same patented formula you can use in your car for 5 years or 150,000 miles. So do what GM did. Switch to Haviland.
I use it in my car. I only wish this were it.
Before it cracks, before it peels, before it stains, before it mildews, always use Zinsser first to prevent trouble before it has a chance to start. Zinsser, primers, finishes, wall covering products, and mildew-proof paints. So never ever start without Zinsser first.
This is as close to nature as some people get. But not you. You'll ride all day to get way back in there. Kawasaki's brand new Prairie 300 4x4 and Prairie 300 ATVs are designed to be the most comfortable ATVs you'll ever ride, no matter how long you stay in the saddle. And only the Prairie comes with automatic transmission and Kawasaki's legendary dependability to put miles between you and civilization. Come on in, and then get out.
For 37 years, baseball's most glorified record has been standing strong. Monday on ESPN, Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa take aim at baseball immortality. The home run record is waiting to fall. Join the chase for history Labor Day at 2 o'clock Eastern Time, 11 Pacific. It's the Cubs and the Cardinals. What a record-setting weekend we've got for you right here on the Total Sports Network. And a big weekend here at Darlington Raceway. A Labor Day tradition. NASCAR racing at the track, too tough to tame.
Just a moment ago, the 89 car of Ashton Lewis made some contact. That's Ashton Lewis. We see him going up the racetrack. That's the white car right there, up brushes wall. We see Dale Jarrett going by, and right behind there's Elliott Sadler, and the car right behind Elliott Sadler. We saw the blue nose just a second ago. That is their points leader, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Oh, he dodges another bullet here. He dodged a bunch of them a couple weeks ago at Trickle, Tennessee. Well, the Gould's Pump Chevy and Mike McLaughlin. He was our pole sitter. 41 years of age. Former NASCAR Modified Series champion. And the second place guy in points, Matt Kenton. Car number 17, the Lycos.com car, making a move down beneath Jim Bound. And Blaine Hall. 12 points as of now. Well, Kenton would narrow the gap quite a bit. He'd be only 63 behind. McLaughlin only 128 back.
But this thing is far from over as we see Mark Green and Matt Kenseth almost make some contact. That's Green in the 37 car.
47 laps to go here in Darlington. Just 7 events remaining after today. And this Busch Grand National Series Championship chase.
Uh-oh. Bad news for these two guys is here comes Mark Martin. He now is only a little over 2 seconds behind the leader, McLaughlin, and he's just a few car lengths behind Kenseth. There we see Mark Martin, and what he sees is Matt Kenseth.
Now the interval back for Mark Martin, 1.80 seconds. And according to our clocks, he is the fastest car on the racetrack. These are the numbers out to the right. Showing you the cars as they come by. Dale Jarrett turning in a good lap that time by at the line. Remember, Jarrett would have the freshest tires. He was the last of the lead cars to pit. So he could certainly be a factor before this stage is over. He shot from high above this battle for a second spot, courtesy of the fine folks at Pennzoil and our Pennzoil copter cam.
And look at this. Look at him come through that corner, Kyle. Wow.
Yeah, he made up 15 car lengths in a period of a quarter mile right there all of a sudden. You know, Kenseth's cars obviously began to go away a little bit because he was right on Mike's bumper a few laps ago, and now he's dropped back to be almost 2 or 3 seconds behind him, so, or a second and a half behind him. So, you know, obviously his car's gone away a little bit, but Mark's car, he stays off those tires when they're brand new, and he lets them come in slow, and he lets them build up heat slow. So in the last 6 or 7 laps of a run, he's still got as much as he's got 50 laps into a run.
And as you said, Mark Martin pitted 13 laps after Matt Kenseth, who came in on lap 62, so much fresher tires for Mark Martin. There's Dale Jarrett making a move beneath Kenny Schrader.
As for the 7th spot, Jarrett takes a spot away from Schrader. He's going down in turn 3.
Schrader looks like he's slowing. Coming
in the pits.
Gotta wonder if it's an unscheduled stop for Schrader. Right side, there's some wheel mark right just in front of the right rear tire. He comes down the Oakwood Homes car. Andy Petrie and the crew will go to work, and they will change those right side tires. So maybe he had a tire going down. Our pit guys will double check in the Oakwood pits. Kenny Schrader started 15th. Was being shown in the 8th position. Actually 7th spot prior to Jarrett passing him last time by.
I'm really not sure when Kenny pitted the first time, but if he's on the 2-pit strategy, then this would be his final pit stop probably at lap 105. And that means some of these other guys are going to be pitting in the next 15 or 20 laps, which will leave Mark and those guys out there. You know, there's so much that comes at racing at Darlington. There's give and take and being patient and all that. And then you throw tire management in on top of it. There's a lot that goes on inside the cockpit during a race here. Staying off your tires, trying to give guys room, trying to keep fenders on your cars, trying to keep your nose on your cars. It's like we said in the opening. You not only race the racetrack, you race tires, you race other people, you race everything.
I see there's patience, there's wisdom, there's strategy, and there's luck.
Tons of luck.
All right, Mark Martin running him down, Benny.
Yes, he has. We see that he has caught McLaughlin as they go by Alexander. But Mark's going to take his time. He's not going to push the issue because, as Kyle said, he's really taking care of these tires.
All right, we're When we come back, we'll find out if Mark Martin can get him. Mart, the grizzled veteran, knows how to win. He's done it 5 times in Busch Series competition here. We'll be right back.
School was never this much fun. No, it was never this much fun. It's hands-on and it's never boring.
Every student learns here at Barron.
Man, do we learn. I'm learning about something I like. I love welding more than anything in the world. I dig cars.
I dig diesel.
I love electronics.
I love driving the big rigs.
Everyone's relaxed, down to earth.
I'm a big teddy bear.
Yep. Real characters. Why did I wait so long?
Because you're a knucklehead.
I'm not wasting any time. In 1 year, I'm going to have a career.
After Barron, I'll definitely be qualified.
A skill, a trade, yours the rest of your life.
The new Fox Family Channel is giving it all away. Win $100,000 for your dream house, a Florida vacation, or over 1,000 other prizes. It's the Getaway House Giveaway. Here's how to win. Pick up your entry form at Wendy's, and while you're there, try the freshest taste around, fresh stuffed pitas. Find the mystery character in one of our new shows, write it down, and mail it in. Play to win in the Getaway House Giveaway. Hurry, the giveaway's gone September 15th. Go to Wendy's today and watch Fox Family Channel.
Measure greatness in sports and sportscasting.
For Kenny Mayne, I'm Dan Patrick. Good night.
All right, folks, it's official. Dan's 2,000th shot.
It was a big night. Everybody wanted a piece of history. I'll remember where I was when Dan hit 2,000. Everybody will.
Back at Darlington, South Carolina, Mark Martin closing in on the lead. That's the leader right in front of that Winn-Dixie Ford. Mike McLaughlin in magic shoes makes a move down beneath Tracy Leslie and will put a little distance between himself and Martin with that pass.
Just a couple of car lengths, and we see a battle. See Dale Jarrett, the 32 car, the white rain car, gets by Todd Bodine, moves into the 6th spot.
Al Petty was talking about tire management a moment ago. Dale Jarrett, of the guys who are going to pit possibly one time, will have the freshest tires.
That's because he ran the most laps on that first set, even more than Mark Martin did.
And he's being shown in 6th position, so it's McLaughlin, our leader, Martin in 2nd, then comes Kenseth, then Dick Trickle. The 8 car of Hillen, then Jarrett, then Todd Bodine, and then this car, number 3, back in 8th position, our points leader.
Wow. Wiggle a little bit coming off that corner.
Yeah, you can see his hands in there turning left and right. You know, we go back to where at 35 laps into the race, Dale Jr. radioed his pits and said, these tires have gone away on me. And they kept cheerleading. And that's where a crew chief comes in important here. He'll lie to a driver all day long and tell him, don't worry, we're going to pit in 10 laps. We're going to pit in 10 laps. Here's Mark Martin making a move for the lead. But, you know, a crew chief is really important here to keep a driver motivated, because I'm going to tell you, when these things start getting loose, you want tires just as quick as you can get them.
Mark Martin made that pass look easy going by McLaughlin. Kyle, you're talking about crew chiefs. They talk about how important it is for a crew chief and a driver to communicate. But that's you can't overstate that. I mean, it's important for that crew chief to be inside that guy's helmet. Yeah, it really is. Mark just passed the 10th place car, and you know the 10th place driver, his crew chief's talking to him, trying to keep him motivated. There he is in 10th place, and he's getting lapped by somebody like Mark Martin. And you know, it's tough to be a lap down at a place like this and be motivated. But the crew chief has to think what the driver's thinking. He's got to be up. He's got to keep him up. He's got to keep him pointed in the right direction, because you know these guys are out here running, and they're a lap down, running 8th or 9th position. That's a great run at Darlington to be 8th or 9th to a driver like Mark Martin in the way he's run today. But you know, it's tough when you're out there running like that to get a lap down and to stay motivated, and that's what the crew chiefs do. That's what the spotters do. You hear it day in and day out. Elton Sawyer loops it around. That will bring out, well, yeah, it will bring out the caution flag. I thought they were going to hold it in for a second. He gets the car righted, but now they scatter around him. There's Sadler. There is Crow going beneath the 38 car, the Barbasol machine of Elton Sawyer. That brings out the 2nd caution flag of the day. And you're on lap 113.
And we see some damage to the left rear, a little bit of damage to the left rear of Elton Sawyer's car. Boy, that was a tough break for the 59 car of Robert Presley, just being lapped, and then the caution flag coming out.
we can see what happened, Benny, up there in turn 2.
We'll see Elton up very high on the racetrack when he starts to bring the car back down. Just around it goes.
That was right in front of Kenseth, who just gets by. There goes the 17 car.
There we see him. As he comes off the corner, just around he goes. See what Shane Hall, the Big A Auto Parts, had to see. He saw it all, is right. Man, oh man. And he drives in that smoke and says, where is he? Oh, there he is.
Well, the second caution flag today coming out on lap 113. They are lined up behind the safety car. We'll come back and find out whether they will make some pit stops or will they not. We'll let you know in just a moment.
In Murray, Utah, a lot of folks like to work on their cars themselves, and they come to AutoZone because they know they'll find quality parts, low prices, great selection, and helpful people like Rick Perry. Now, Rick's been around cars all his life, so he knows a thing or two about looking up parts and solving problems. And whether it's selling new parts or testing old ones, he's always glad to help. You see, when it comes to getting the right part, the right price, and good advice, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
Shuffling papers all day long requires concentration. Someone hold my calls, I'm on a Big Mac vacation.
Did somebody say McDonald's?
Nobody loves cars more than I do. Each one is a work of art. So when the maker of all these chose a new antifreeze, it got my attention.
General Motors now uses the deck school technology of Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze in virtually all its new vehicles. The same patented formula you can use in your car for 5 years or 150,000 miles. So do what Jem did. Switch to Haviland.
I use it in my car. I only wish this were it.
Husky, the toughest name in tools. Guaranteed forever. Available at the Home Depot.
Over 200 points, 6 wins, 11 podiums. And yet, Alex Zanardi still has one more thing to accomplish. Conquering Canada. Molson Indy Vancouver, tomorrow at 5 on ESPN.
We will see pit stops at Darlington, and we're going to show you the 3 critical ones. Martin, McLaughlin, and Kenseth coming down pit road for what will surely be the final stop of the day to Bill Weber.
And Mark Martin leads the parade down pit road as you'll look at the triple pit stops. They do not plan to make an adjustment here on Martin. It should be 4 tires, and now they do put the wedge wrench in the right rear of Mark Martin's car. Matt Kenseth did rush the wall just a few laps ago. They were going to have to pit under green. This is a huge break for them. They make a chassis adjustment, and he will get 4 tires. Also, 4 tires going on the 34 car. Did not see a chassis adjustment there. Mark Martin with a good stop. He's on his way. Let's see if he can beat the 34 off of pit road. He does. Kenseth is on his way also, so it's 60, 34, 17 off the front stretch pits.
Pretty good pit stop there for Bobby Leslie and the company. And what a break for Matt Kenseth. Look at the right side of that car. You see those marks where they got that Darlington stripe. That caution was a huge break for him. Well, back pits, Ray Dunlap.
Well, Jerry, there are going to be pit stops here. Dale Jarrett is already in with the White Rain Ford, and here comes Dale Earnhardt Jr. Now, Tony Uri was just over here expressing his dissatisfaction that the pace car did not speed up to help get these guys into the backstretch. You notice they are going to pull off some of those tearaways on the window so that Dale Jr. can see a little bit better. Definitely will be a 4-tire stop here. He said the car was a little bit loose, so Tony's going to try to tighten them up with an air pressure adjustment. But you notice they did not get all of that off the window, so Dale Jr. will have a dirty windshield, but he's got 4 fresh tires.
Well, how much effort do you put in when you make a pit stop? These crew members know you got to give it your all. Take a look from the bumper cam of Mike McLaughlin's car. They give the car a shove, and he pulls away, and he takes a tumble.
That's one reason it's against the rules to push the car. McLaughlin. Let's see Tony Uri.
Tony Uri not real happy because, indeed, the pace car did not speed up. Didn't look like it sped up, and those guys in the backstretch got hammered on their pit stops.
Yeah, but even if the pace car had speeded up, you know, just a little bit, it still doesn't make a big difference at a place like this. At a place like Bristol, at a place like Martinsville, where you've got those short chutes, it does make a big difference. But a place like this, they're still going to come out and line up right back where they were, 7th, 8th, or 9th. This is a huge break for these guys because now he's in a position where everybody's caught up. This is the best position Dale Earnhardt Jr. has been in all day long to be able to race with these guys. But, you know, you can argue that point all day long, but it really doesn't make a big difference under caution.
All right, let's show you why we're under caution. Once again, coming out on lap 113, second caution of the day, right side of your screen.
Elton Sawyer, the Barbasol Ford. Around he goes. Just tried to turn the car down the hill, and the back end came around.
All right, laps are winding down. Back with the finish of the Dura-Lube 200 at Darlington after this.
Introducing the Midas battery. Now for just $49.99 with rebate. Batteries, brand new from Midas.
When we set out to build the world's best ATV, we chose our role model carefully. The new Big Bear and Big Bear 4x4 from Yamaha. 'Cause out here, bears rule.
Hi, Tom Bodette. Well, this is what I looked like back when I was new. And this is a new room at Motel 6. When I was new, a new room at Motel 6. Cute, huh? I'm Tom Bodette, and we'll leave the light on for you.
It's good to know that in an era of superstars, big corporate sponsorships, and network TV deals, there's an organization that also cares about fairness and sportsmanship, that realizes its fans are the sole reason for its success, and knows it should never go so fast that it can't slow down if there's a good enough reason. This is NASCAR, and this is the way we've done things for 50 years.
Back at Darlington, one lap to go. You haven't missed any action here, and you don't want to miss the premiere of Sunday Night Football on ESPN. Join Mike Patrick, Joe Theismann, and Paul McGuire, 8:15 Eastern Time from Arrowhead Stadium as the Kansas City Chiefs host the Oakland Raiders. And then at Monday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, tune in to Monday Night Countdown, the most in-depth pregame show in the National Football League. And, of course, how about Monday Night Football on ABC Sports, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Al Michaels, Dan Dierdorf, and Boomer Esiason will have the calls of Denver Broncos and quarterback John Elway. ESPN and ABC, the exclusive home of the NFL in prime time. Boy, what a lineup. Sunday, Monday night, and again Monday night on ABC.
Now this is a pretty impressive lineup here. Cars side by side. Once again, a recipe for disaster when these cars get side by side, nose to tail, at a racetrack as tough as Darlington. We were talking during the commercial break. At least Earnhardt, he might have lost some positions by pitting on the backstretch, Kyle, but now he's only 9 car lengths behind him because one advantage, only 9 cars on the lead lap right now, and he's one of those 9.
Yeah, like we said before, when Mark was leading the race and he was running 5th or 6th, he was 15 or 16 seconds.
Pace car is off.
He was 15 or 16 seconds behind.
Go, go, go!
Flag.
Mark Martin able to scamper away at the head of the field.
Oh, looky here. Look at these guys going by. McLaughlin goes by. Kansas goes by. And Mark Martin is back to 3rd place.
That's Robert Presley second in line trying to make his lap up if he can get a quick caution.
And Dick Trickle goes by Martin.
There's a look back at Mark Martin. A little bit of bumper tag from the Winn-Dixie Ford and the Snyder Chevrolet. McLaughlin the leader. He's being dogged heavily by Robert Presley's Kingsford Charcoal Chevy. Looking back to the third-place car. Now Martin will make his move. Does he have room on the bottom of the racetrack?
I think he's going to make room. No, he's not able to do that. And Bobby Hillin goes by and takes another spot away from Mark. And here comes Dale Jarrett right on his back bumper.
Mark Martin was our leader a lap and a half ago. Went back to the green flag, and now he's back battling for his life for 5th position. Challenge for 2nd spot. Trickle will take the move inside. Kenseth will take the spot away.
And right behind Matt Kenseth in the 17 car is Bobby Hillin.
Remember, Dale Earnhardt Jr. just wants to get a good, solid finish. As you watch Hillin slide up across the racetrack, keeps it out of the wall, but barely.
And Mark Martin gets on the inside, gets position. This is a battle for 4th spot.
You saw Mark's car wiggle a little bit as he jumped on the brakes to try to keep from running over bottom. Don't count Mark out yet. Mark's been easy on tires. There were still 25 or 30 laps to go in this race when they dropped the green flag. So we know that Dale Jr.'s tires wore out before in 35 laps. So Mark's counting on the racetrack coming to him.
And Dick Trickle has taken the lead from Mike McLaughlin. Put Trickle in front.
There's a 64 car for Dick Trickle. And with Trickle making that move, Robert Presley was able to get around the leader to get back on the tail end of the lead lap. There's the 59 car up front. Then Trickle the leader. Then McLaughlin. Then Martin. Then Kenseth. Then Jarrett.
And here comes Jarrett. He's on the inside of Kenseth. And here comes Little Earnhardt. Little Lee, the 3 cars on the bottom, takes away a spot from Bobby Hillin. And Kevin LePage in that mix also, the channel lock car.
There's LePage looking back at Dale Earnhardt Jr. That is 4th position. That is 5th, 6th, and 7th on screen. Kenseth in the 17 car, LePage in the 40 machine, and Earnhardt as LePage makes the move. You're watching it from the Pennzoil copter cam. That's the points battle side by side. Well, no longer as Earnhardt makes the move, and now Mark Martin, Benny, will try to make a move.
Trying to get on the inside of McLaughlin. This is for the 2nd place. And Dick Trickle, good news for him. He was able to get by Robert Presley. He has that lap car between himself and the 2nd place car, which is right now the 34 McLaughlin, the white car. And Mark Martin is in 3rd.
Wow, what a wild scramble we've got here in the final laps of the Dura-Lube 200. It's NASCAR racing at the track too tough to tame. It doesn't get any better than this.
Who's that, Grandma?
That would have been your great-uncle Floyd. About 65 years ago, he was playing hide-and-seek with his friends. And they never found him.
If you're gonna play to win,
Nobody found me.
play to win. If you're gonna have roast beef, have roast beef. Hardee's tender roast beef, specially seasoned, oven roasted, fresh sliced to order.
If you're gonna go all out. Nobody loves cars more than I do. Each one is a work of art. So when the maker of all these chose a new antifreeze, it got my attention.
General Motors now uses the deck school technology of Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze in virtually all its new vehicles. The same patented formula you can use in your car for 5 years or 150,000 miles. So do what GM did. Switch to Haviland.
I use it in my car. I only wish this were it.
Gentlemen, over the years, Bristol University has assembled some of the greatest minds in football. While it's important that we look back at the past, it's also important that we look forward to the future. Here's the football. Here's the friends. Here's the sausage. Here's. Monday Night Countdown at 6:30 on ESPN.
Be sure to pick up the 1998 Miller Time Football Guide. It's yours free in any case or 12-pack of Miller Lite.
Back at Darlington Raceway, Darlington, South Carolina. Kyle Petty, Benny Parsons, Ray Dunlap, Bill Weber, and yours truly, Jerry Punch, bringing you Busch Grand National Series action. The orange car left of your screen, that's the leader. That's Dick Trickle. Here's the battle. McLaughlin in 34. And this car you're riding with, Mark Martin in the 60.
And we see Kevin LePage, the 40 car, trying to get on the inside of Dale Jarrett. That's a battle for the 4th position. And little Earnhardt in the 3 car is in 6 now.
Mark Martin's troubles all began with the restart. Let's take a listen here.
I think an ignition box go dead on him, Kyle.
It sounded like an ignition box went out. What about it, Bill Weber?
Try this on, guys. A vapor lock and then no fuel pressure. That's what he called into his crew. So he had a vapor lock, and then trying to get through that, he had no fuel pressure. They both come back to him as of right now.
Wow.
Now, there's the 3 car, right? Zipping by right there. There's the channel lock car looking back. That's Kevin LePage looking back as one car spins. Bobby Hillen's car spins. Hillen was being shown in the 7th position.
And no caution yet. Still no caution.
And he gets the car fired and heads back in the right direction. The clean shower machine cost him about 15 positions.
But the right front tire, I believe, is flat on his car, Jerry. Oh, we got another crash down the corner.
That is Jeff Fuller in the car number 90. Hard contact with the back of his Ford into the turn 1 wall, and that will indeed bring the caution flag out.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised if Bobby Hillen did not go down in turn 3 with a flat tire and not realize the tire was flat, and when he went in turn 3, go straight ahead and clip the 90 car of Jeff Fuller.
Boy, what a tough break for Fuller. Had a great qualifying run. Started in 8th spot, the Golden Leaf Chevrolet. Car owned by Bart Bradshaw. But right now we're working caution number 3 here on lap 131. And these guys are wondering how long it'll take.
Relax and enjoy your favorite movies in the comfort of your home on pay-per-view.
Stop dreaming and start driving. There's never been a better time to save money on a new car or truck. This is it! The biggest clearance sale of the year. Final closeout 98 at all Valise Superstores. Whoa, this is big! Huge closeout savings on hundreds of leftover 98s. Every car and truck, they're all on sale. Final closeout 98, now through Monday at all Valise Superstores. Open Sunday and Labor Day, 12 to 5.
Sunday Night Football, ladies and gents. We kick things off with the Raiders and the Chiefs. ESPN Sunday Night Football. Coverage begins at 8:15. Oh, see, I would watch that.
Back at Darlington Raceway in Darlington, South Carolina, working the 3rd caution flag of the day, which came out. Initially, there was a spin by Bobby Hillen, but what brought the caution flag out was the spin and the contact by Jeff Fuller up in turn 1. Now, here's the 8 car spinning top of your screen.
Very top of your screen, he goes around. We see Chad Little drive by on the outside. And I really believe that the right front tire goes flat on Hillen's car, as he did not realize that the caution flag did not come out here. But as Hillen goes down the racetrack with his right front tire flat, I think when he got to turn 1, not realizing that tire was flat, the car went straight ahead. He made contact with the 90, and that's what Jeff Fuller backed the car in the fence.
All right, lap 132 of 147. Now let's check in down in the pits with Bill Weber.
Okay, well, here's the latest on Mark Martin. Apparently, his fuel pressure is fluctuating between 7 pounds and 2 pounds. Now, BP and Kyle, I imagine that means one of three things. His fuel pump could be going bad. He could have a pickup problem, or he might have fouled something in the system. Make sense?
It could be that there's something that the fuel filter is about half plugged up. That could cause it.
Yeah, I haven't heard of a car vapor locking in 100 years.
No, I haven't either.
You know what I mean? So, you know, it probably is hot enough out there, and it's probably definitely hot enough under the hood for these things. But, you know, with the technology that they have now, that really doesn't happen that much anymore. So either he's got something in the fuel pump, maybe is wearing out the arm in the fuel pump, maybe something's messing up with the cam that works the fuel pump, or maybe he's got something. He wouldn't have a pickup problem because he's already run this far on fuel one time before, and he didn't seem to have that problem, or at least we didn't know about it if he did.
But on this caution flag, some of the cars have made a pit stop, haven't they, Ray?
That's absolutely right, Benny, and one of them is a blue car, and it's got a big 3 on the side. Dale Earnhardt Sr. said, let's make the call. Let's bring him in, get him 4 fresh stickers, and see if he can run to the front. So keep your eye on that AC Delco Chevy.
Wow, several cars made pit stops as well, Ray. On the front, Bill Weber, how many made pit stops on the front stretch?
Well, a handful of them did come in here, Benny, so they're going to have the fresh tires as well to try and make their way back up to the front. Want to go back to the Mark Martin situation briefly. Apparently, talking to their team engineer, a fuel surge could cause that vapor lock problem in combination with the heat. It just makes the fuel so hot, and then it actually sucks some air in there, and that's what would cause the vapor lock.
All right, now we're going to do something a little bit different on our restart. We're actually going to ride along and listen to Mark Martin's car on the restart. If you just joined us, when we had a restart with 27 laps to go, about 15 laps ago, Mark Martin was a leader, but suddenly as he crossed the start-finish line, his car began to sputter and ended up losing 5 spots in the first 2 laps.
Something else interesting that happened on that caution. The guys on the front stretch either didn't see the pit road was open or it wasn't open, and they opened the backstretch first. So the backstretch was the place to be here for the final caution. Little Earnhardt was running 7th or 8th. He's got new tires. He's up as high as 5th right now in line. The other guys, Todd Bodine, I guess the 40 car LePage, and the 17, those guys pitted after him, and now they're behind him.
Bill Weber?
And Kyle, the 17, was on pit road, did get the 4 tires. Robbie Reiser has talked to his driver. They think they have an excellent shot here in the last dozen laps to come on and win this thing. Green coming out this time.
Let's see if Mark can get his engine up to speed.
Going into turn 1, but it's picked right back up.
And there we see the 3 cars. He tries to close in on the back of Dale Jarrett with those fresh tires.
Side-by-side action, Todd Bodine and Matt Kenseth as they get the 10 lap to go. Signal that time by from Carl Simmons. The 9 car is Chad Little. He's being shown in the 10th position.
Chad's in 10th position, 1 lap down, but you saw him ease up a little bit and let those guys that are racing for the win ease into the corner.
You see Dale Earnhardt Jr. has been able to get by Dale Jarrett. Now he sets his sight on the top 3s in 4th place with fresher tires than the guys in front. Yeah. And he's on the inside of the lap car of Robert Presley.
Dale Jr.'s sitting here with tires that are probably 20 laps fresher than these other guys, and this is when it pays off to have these new tires because they're pretty decent for 10 or 15 laps.
There's only 9 or less now than 9 laps to go.
As Kevin LePage gets by Dale Jarrett with those fresh tires. There we see him cheering for Little Lee.
Tony Eury, the veteran crew chief, on top of the toolbox, watching his young driver try to make a move on the veteran Mark Martin.
He takes over the 3rd spot.
Look at the speed last time by for Dale Earnhardt Jr. 157 miles an hour. And indeed, Benny and Kyle, those fresh tires are a huge, huge advantage.
huge advantage. And, you know, it shows, like we talked before, you can see these guys that can run through 1 and 2 wide open on new tires. They gain so much track time and so much straightaway speed that it's really a big deal for them.
Right down left.
Doug, there's one guy out there on the racetrack that really knows what that advantage is, and that's Dale Jarrett. Soon as he saw little Earnhardt come on to pit road, he said he really wished he would have come in and pitted, and now he knows, and apparently that fuel pressure problem for Mark Martin is going to raise its ugly head because he's slowing down to Bill Weber.
And here comes Earnhardt Jr. on the inside of McLaughlin. This is for second place. And going down in 1, there's nothing McLaughlin can do. Give it to Earnhardt. Now, one more car in his sights. The leader.
Whoa, double at turn 1. One car into the wall. That is Elton Sawyer. Chad Little spins. A 77 car of Barrier jumps on the brakes. And still no caution flag. It'll be 5 to go as they come by. And here's the battle. All the cars have gotten righted and headed on, so there is no caution flag whatsoever. Dick Trickle trying to hold off the charge of Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 3 car.
We've got Ed Barrier up against the wall down in 3 and 4, but maybe he'll be able to get down. Earnhardt Jr. just 5 laps to go, 4.5 laps to go. And finally the caution flag is out. This might be it.
They scramble
back to the line.
Out of turn 4. Here comes Earnhardt on the inside. Down to the start-finish line. The caution flag is waving. Wow. That was close.
I don't have any idea who won that race.
Carl Simmons waving the caution flag with 4 laps to go. And there is the 3 crew. They're celebrating. You got to believe that the Snyder crew is celebrating. And NASCAR scoring has scored the 3 car. Well, they had scored the 3 car. Now we're showing the 64 car. Let's take a look again and see which one made the stripe first.
Here they come. And folks, this is about as close as it gets.
Earnhardt making a challenge on the inside. They come now frame by frame to the start-finish line.
It looks like, would you call it a dead heat?
I'd call it a dead heat. I may give it to Trickle right there for right now, but I don't know. That's pretty dead heat right there.
Maybe the nose of the Snyder National Chevy may have had a couple of inches. We'll let NASCAR make the call. And we'll tell you what it was when we come back.
Nobody loves cars more than I do. Each one is a work of art. So when the maker of all these chose a new antifreeze, it got my attention.
General Motors now uses the deck school technology of Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze in virtually all its new vehicles. The same patented formula you can use in your car for 5 years or 150,000 miles. So do what GM did. Switch to Haviland.
I use it in my car. I only wish this were it.
May you next enjoy the other white meat. Presenting rack of pork, skewered pork kebabs, and America's cut pork chops. Bring the royal taster.
My cat. Bring my cat. Bring my cat.
Pork, the other white meat.
In Denton, Texas, a lot of folks who work on their cars go to AutoZone because they know they're going to find quality parts, low prices, great selection, and good people like Tom Robinson. You see, Tom's the kind of guy who really likes to help folks out. And since he's been around cars most all his life, he knows his parts, too. Oh, sure, there are other parts stores in town, but when it comes to getting the right part, the right price, and good advice from folks like Tom, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
Back at Darlington Raceway, well, right now the 64 car is in front of the 3 car. Dick Trickle being shown in front of Dale Earnhardt Jr.
And there's only 2 laps to go. Actually, a lap and a half to go. We'll be getting a white flag next time by.
Yeah, but the lights are still on the pace car.
That's right. So this race is over.
This race is basically over.
Well, it will end under caution. That scramble back to the yellow flag with 4 to go. And there is Dick Trickle of veteran and a rookie driver battling off of turn 4. Trickle winding back and forth. Got his first ever Busch Series win a year ago at Hickory Speedway.
How old is Dick Trickle? 30 years older than Dale Jr.?
At least
30 years older than Dale Jr.
I mean, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is only 23 years old, I think.
And Trickle is 56.
Wow. So here they come down to the line. Is this the white flag? Yes, it is.
White flag from Carl Simmons and Dick Trickle at 56 years of age. We'll take him around one more time and get the checkered flag to get his first win of 1998. Now we'll show you why it's going to finish under caution. Here's the problem net in turn 1.
There we see the 77 car hits the 9 and does a lot of damage to the right side. Elton Sawyer in the 38 car also went up, made some contact with the wall.
Yeah.
And here's the battle to the line for the caution flag with 4 laps to go. The copter cam showing the battle across. And Dick Trickle does indeed hit first by just a scant few inches.
But it looks from there, I'd hate to have to go measure it because it looks like 2 or 3 inches. But it looked like on the wreck down there, it looked like Chad went in and got into Elton and just drove Elton into the outside wall.
You see Dale Earnhardt Jr. walk up and drive up, congratulate Dick Trickle.
Gives Dick Trickle a big thumbs up there as they come by. So Dick Trickle will become the 16th different winner in 24 events in 1998. Boy, what a year in the Busch Series. And I gotta believe that the boys at Sports Center are gonna love the fact that Dick Trickle won at Darlington. The Dickster pulled one off at the track too tough to tame.
Dick's new commercial says every time he wins a race, Highland Myers gives him some furniture and he's standing in that empty room. You think it goes for the Busch race too?
I don't know.
I guarantee he'll be calling for a recliner here pretty soon.
Yeah, definitely so.
Dick Trickle takes the win. And there's the Snyder National crew. Dennis Shoemaker crew celebrating. And a big smile from the Rapids, Wisconsin driver. He wins the 16th running of the Dura-Lube 200 presented by Bilo.
And since they changed the racetrack around, Dick Trickle has not won there. So he just radioed his crew and says, hey, by the way, we're in Victory Lane. Where do I go to celebrate and do all that other stuff?
All right, there's the trophy. Dura-Lube 200 presented by Bilo. Darlington Raceway, 1998. When we come back, we'll talk to Dick Trickle in Victory Lane at Darlington, South Carolina. What a finish. Trickle, the veteran, over Earnhardt Jr., the rookie.
I'm loose. Coming in, guys.
Look! Bill's in trouble.
Don't worry, Bill. We'll take it from here.
Here! Where can you always find a fast and friendly drive-thru crew? Did somebody say McDonald's?
Budweiser has 12 breweries located across the country. The Budweiser that you get from your local brewery is usually the freshest beer available in the marketplace. Budweiser sells very quickly. The average age of Budweiser on the shelf is about 40 days. Having local breweries ensures that your Budweiser is the freshest possible beer it can be by the time you purchase it.
Back at Darlington, South Carolina, 56-year-old Dick Trickle carries his Snyder National Chevrolet, the Dennis Shoemaker-owned car, to Victory Lane. His first ever win at Darlington, his second career Busch Series victory, his first coming a year ago at Hickory Speedway. And listen to this reception.
I was afraid he's going to fall off there for a minute, Jerry.
Let's go down to our McDonald's winner's circle with Dick Trickle. Here's Bill Weber.
One of the all-time greatest names in short track racing. You tamed Darlington, Dick Trickle. Congratulations.
Well, Darlington's a short track and is a race driver's racetrack. I love it. You know, and this team, you know, I can't say nothing for the Snyder Nationals group, you know Dennis, the owner, and Brian, and you know, all the guys on the team there. I mean, they just work and they're dedicated to me. And, you know, sometimes I tell them to do things wrong, but they just do it anyhow. And I told them, let's keep this up, boys. We know if we got a team that can win, we can win some more.
Your last pit stop, you made a chassis adjustment, and you went back to your tires the way you had them at the beginning of the race.
Well, we made a chassis adjustment. I don't know what he did with the tires. I left that up to the crew chief, Brian. But we were loose all day, and that last set of tires was the first time I could get and run a little bit. We come from fourth on last restart, past the leaders, and you know, we kind of won it fair and square. Those new tires Junior put on were going to get us all, but he didn't have enough time.
You saw him coming, obviously.
Oh yeah, well, I was afraid. He's the fifth car with new tires, and I thought, you know, this ain't looking good. We got to get every inch we can, and that's what we won by, is inches.
It's a popular win, and Dick Trickle for certain is a Sports Center highlight tonight. To Ray Dunlap.
Well, thanks, Bill, and I'm standing here with Dale Earnhardt Jr. What a great strategy call for you guys to come in and get tires.
Yeah, it was. Someone mentioned it, and I said, man, let's do it. Let's do it. It helped us at Texas. We almost won us another one on that strategy today, and I can't say enough about AC Delco and the Chevrolet Monte Carlo we had today was awesome. This is car number 5, my favorite car. We've run good at Bristol with it. We won Denver with it. We're pretty good at Watkins Glen with it. It goes pretty good everywhere we take it. This car I ran last year, it was Wrangler cars. Tony and them made some calls in the pits this morning on some shocks and stuff, and that helped me out a tremendous amount. The car come right up through the field. Made some more calls on pit road today. Had great stops. Tried to be careful getting in and out of there. And everything just worked out, man. We really got lucky on the top 5 finish.
Well, tell me about that last lap, though. What's going through your mind when you know that caution's coming out and you got to race Trickle?
Just go at it. Try to get by him without running into him. I mean, man made that car off a wide, and I probably couldn't have got by him if he slipped up a little bit more than he did. But he's one of the hardest competitors out there, hardest to race. And I'm just proud to be sharing the same asphalt with the man.
They start 34th, pit on the backstretch, and finish 2nd.
And what an effort that was as the Victory Lane celebration continues. Boy, what a popular win that will be, not only among the fans, but among the Busch Series competitors who love the effort that Dick Trickle put in today. Our unofficial results, well, take a look. 8 cars finished on the lead lap, and our top 3 guys in the points all finished in the top 6.
Robert Preston will finish 9th, the first car lap down. We see back to Michael Walter, 15th. All those cars 1 lap down.
16 through 30, you see some of your favorite drivers. 2-time series champion Randy LaJoie, who started 43rd, will finish in 19th position. Bobby Hillin had a great run today. Unfortunately, it went away late. He will finish in 30th spot.
And we see Lyndon Amick will get credited with the last position, 43rd.
Well, with just 7 events remaining, the points standings do change somewhat. Earnhardt Jr. stretching it out now over Matt Kenseth in 2nd spot, Michael McLaughlin in 3rd, LaJoie, and now Elton Sawyer will move into 5th spot, courtesy of the tough luck today by Buckshot Jones, Parsons Fedewa, and the Sadler brothers rounding out the top 10. What a special weekend we've still got to come for you from Darlington, South Carolina. Tonight, happy hour, 9 o'clock Eastern time on the Deuce. Tomorrow, RPM today at noon Eastern time, followed by NASCAR today at 12:30 Eastern time. And then John Kernan, Ned Jarrett, and Bob Jenkins will all step in, our entire Speed World crew, for our live flag-to-flag coverage of the 49th running of the NASCAR Winston Cup Pepsi Southern 500. And, of course, how about kart coverage, the Molson Indy Vancouver. That's coming your way tomorrow at 5 o'clock Eastern time here on ESPN. What a remarkable weekend we have for you on the worldwide leader in sports. Remember, coming up next, horse racing to the Breeders' Cup, the Del Mar Handicap. Yeah, Dick Trickle, the veteran, wins it here today. And Benny Parsons tomorrow, 5 guys can get a chance to win $1 million.
And wouldn't it be exciting if those 5 guys came down to the line just exactly like Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Dick Trickle did, side by side? Obviously, there's not room for 5 abreast, but it'd be great to see them try it. And someone win that $1 million by inches.
The eyes of the world are on home runs for the weekend, and today, Dick Trickle hits one by a scant few inches. He takes the victory. 56 years of age, the legendary short track ace gets his first win in 1998. For Kyle Petty, Benny Parsons, Ray Dunlap, and Bill Weber, I'm Jerry Punch, congratulating Dick Trickle. Yeah, the Dickster does Darlington. A popular win for the veteran of 56 years. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
The following is a presentation of the NTRA in association with ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
For Hall of Fame trainer Bobby Frankel, the Breeders' Cup Trophy has been...
Met him in a shot at that Marlboro bonus money, $330,000.
Yeah, that would be nice. I mean, my guys are, they said to me I better do it. So this would be a good a place as any. I love Vancouver. It's a great town. What can I say?
No pressure, eh?
No, none at all. We've done it once now, so anything else is a bonus.
All right, great job.
Thank you.
Let's go to Jan.
And, of course, the guy that was hoping for that pole position. I guess every driver was hoping, but you thought you had a shot. Alex, I've got to ask you, you came back in the pits. You were not smiling like you are now. You had a disagreement with Mark Blundell. What was that all about?
Well, it's about that, obviously, I think I could have got the pole. I had the same good car I had yesterday, but simply I got him on my way for 7 times, so I couldn't obviously put a lap together. He kept doing mistakes, and so I kept slowing down after I was doing a mistake. Well, I don't know exactly what happened, but he kept slowing down. So I kept making the space, and I was calling him back, and as I was getting back to him, he was accelerating again, obviously, because he didn't want my traffic. Maybe if he would have been smart, knowing that I was much faster than him and let me go, maybe he could have learned something if he would have followed me close.
Well, at least these two guys talked about it, but unfortunately, Blundell was not happy when he left.
Well, here is the way they will go to the grid for the Molson Indy Vancouver. Dario Franchitti, his third pole in the last 4 Canadian races. Helio Castroneves, provisional pole sitter after Group 1, finds himself back in the number 9 spot. And Gilles de Ferran, after crashing at the beginning of his final qualifying effort, hopped in the backup car and took it to 14th place on the grid. Coming up tomorrow, our coverage of the kart Molson Indy Vancouver at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific, only on ESPN. Coming up next, RPM Tonight here on ESPN2. I'm Bob Varsha. For Danny Sullivan, Tommy Kendall, Gary Gerald, and Jan Beekes, we'll see you tomorrow for race day here in Vancouver. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
Gentlemen,
we're going all out on RPM tonight, and that means we're ready to fight until the bitter end. When there's cash involved, we'll be ready to dash. There'll be plenty of dashing, as one of 5 drivers could be a cool million richer at the end of Sunday's ride in Darlington. Vancouver might mean everything from A to Z for the kart points leader. We'll excuse Team Winston's leader if he's focused on another great end to this top fuel season.
I have a hard time being real personable because it tends to break my concentration.
Whatever you do, don't lose your focus until we make it through another RPM Tonight. Next.
Driver's seat for your Saturday night for another edition of RPM Tonight. Ahead on the show, Vancouver has never looked so good for Alex Zanardi, and the NHRA gears up for Monday's big day. But first, a step to head off controversy at Darlington. Yeah, we begin with another twist to the Winston Cup tires story. Saturday in Darlington, after happy hour was completed, NASCAR took all tires and kept them under lock and key for the night. This latest development follows NASCAR looking into accusations from a week ago that some teams may be doctoring their tires.
Basically what we're doing is we're impounding new tires, and during the happy hour we allowed the teams to take new tires on the racetrack and do what they need to do to get for the race setups and everything. Then they had to bring us the scuffed tires back, and we give them another set of tires. But basically what we've decided to do, just to eliminate or help inspect the tire situation and eliminate the perception anybody's doing anything with them, is to keep the new tires in the possession of Goodyear until race time, and and then when the officials in the pit road can watch them from that point. Gary Nelson will determine what time they'll get them in the morning, but it'll be in ample time to make sure everything works right. They can glue the lug nuts on the wheels and all the steps and procedures they need to take to be ready for the race, but only that much time will be allowed. We'll figure that one out in the morning.
Now, as for last week, Helton added that the tires from Jeff Gordon and Mark Martin have been sent to the labs to complete this testing process. To this point, they have found nothing, and Helton, quote, says, doesn't expect to find much. They hope to have the results before next week's race in Richmond. More Winston Cup stuff later in the show. Meanwhile, in Darlington, the Dura-Lube 200, the 24th of 31 events on the NASCAR Busch Series. If points leader Dale Earnhardt Jr. was going to make this race his 6th victory of the season, he was going to have to do it starting from the 34th position. The farthest any winning driver has ever started this race was Larry Pearson from 36th back in 1995. For Earnhardt Jr., starting poorly at Darlington, nothing new. Earlier this year at this same track, he started a season-low 37th, but he ended up with a 10th place finish. To Darlington we go. Magic Shoes starting on the pole for the Dura-Lube 200. On board, Shane Hall, lap 8, gets into the wall, and Lyndon Amick gets into him. Brings out the first caution. Lap 79, Dick Trickle in the 64 makes it 3 abreast to get by Dave Blaney and Blaze Alexander in the 20. Alexander tags the wall. Caution lap 115. Magic Shoes crew, a member of that crew, wipes out as he pushes out of the pits. He was okay. Restart lap 120, Mark Martin leading. Martin has a fuel pressure problem. Magic Shoes takes the lead. Martin falls back to 3rd. 2 laps later, Martin in 4th, bumps Dick Trickle, who's running 3rd. Lap 132. Jeff Fuller in the 90 hits the wall. Heavy rear end damage. Brings out the 3rd caution. Under the caution, Dale Earnhardt Jr. takes on 4 fresh tires by request of his dad. The rest of the leaders did not. 9 laps to go. Dale Jr. passes Martin for 3rd. His crew is ecstatic for good reason. Now, 6 laps to go. Dale Jr. would pass Magic Shoes for 2nd. Will the fresh tires pay off? Leader Dick Trickle hopes not. Let's flash back now. Back in time. Trickle looking for his first win since beating out Randy LaJoy at Hickory last year. Still 6 to go. Chad Little and Elton Sawyer crash. But the caution doesn't come out until 2 laps later, which gives Earnhardt time to catch up. Race to the stripe with 4 laps to go. Dale Jr. goes down low. And it's a photo finish to the caution slag. Take another look. Dick Trickle edging out Earnhardt at the line, and the race ends under caution. So after 4 straight 3rd place finishes at Darlington, Trickle finds a way, and he is your winner. That's his 2nd Busch Grand National career victory. His first one coming, as I said earlier, at Hickory in March of last year. Right on his heels, Dale Jr., coming all the way from 34th to finish 2nd. This is Jr.'s 12th top 5 and 17th top 10. Pole sitter, Magic Shoes with a good run. 7th time he has finished 3rd or better. Todd Bodine starts 22 and finishes 5th. Matt Kenseth with another strong run, but his 6th place will cost him a few points in the standings. 2 Cup regulars, Dale Jarrett, Mark Martin, 7th and 8th. Martin has finished in the top 10 in 7 of the 10 BGN races he's been in. But it's back up front to Dick Trickle.
We were loose all day, and that last set of tires was the first time I could get and run a little bit. We come from 4th on the last restart, passed the leaders, and we kind of won it fair and square. Those new tires Junior put on were going to get us all, but he didn't have enough time.
I'm pretty interested to see if we beat him or not, but Trickle will race hard, and he held his line. He made it car just wide enough to where I couldn't get too good a run off of the corner, and it come a little late.
This is the car we wrecked at Bristol, so the boys in the shop are doing a good job. Can't say enough about this whole effort. We've fallen behind the last few weeks, but the Goose Pump Chevrolet's coming along.
The car was real good. The guys did a great job. Had good pit stops. This place is one of those deals. After the first 10 laps on the tires, you just kind of hang on, and the best balanced car is going to go. And we had a good balanced car.
We were real inconsistent on our tires, and the first set on the car was really good. Second set was a little bit worse, and we adjusted to make it better. And then the last set was a lot worse. So we just kind of progressed backwards all day. We started out pretty good and didn't end up very good. So just have to be smarter than that.
Checking the point standings, top 4 spots stay the same with Earnhardt Jr., Kenseth, and Magic Shoes all having good weeks. Defending series champ Randy LaJoy drops almost 500 points behind Little Dale, while Elton Sawyer moves ahead of Buckshot Jones into the top 5. Alex Zanardi, he loves many of the picturesque views in Vancouver, especially the one that displays the PPG Cup point standings. Well, that's because Zanardi has the best seat in the house, taking an 80-point edge over Jimmy Vasser into Sunday's Molson Indy Vancouver race on ESPN. So get this, if Zanardi's lead can increase to 89 points upon exiting Vancouver, he's going to clinch the title. And it's only Labor Day weekend. Zanardi starting second day qualifying on the provisional pole. To Concord Pacific Place, Alex Zanardi looking for some advice from his teammate Jimmy Vasser, who went out during the first session. In that first session, Gilles de Ferran loses control, almost saves it, but he hits the wall. He'd be okay. De Ferran got in his backup and qualified 14th. Second session, Dario Franchitti ran a lap of 64.130 seconds to capture the pole, Franchitti's fourth pole of the season. After qualifying, Alex Zanardi starts inside road 2, had some words with Mark Blundell, feeling Blundell held him up on the track.
He kept slowing down, so I kept making the space, and I was holding him back, and as I was getting back to him, he was accelerating again, obviously, because he didn't want my traffic. Maybe if he would have been smart, knowing that I was much faster than him and let me go, maybe he could have learned something if he would have followed me close.
Franchitti with his fourth pole of the season, as I mentioned, but it's worth repeating, beating out Brian Hertuff for the top spot. Points leader Alex Zanardi will start third. He sat on the pole for the last 2 Vancouver races. Tony Kanaan starts 5th, his best start since Gateway when he started 3rd. Paul Tracy and Scott Pruitt round out row 4. But on the pole is Dario.
The car was set up really well. I didn't take full advantage of it. You know, the car is really very good, and I made a mistake on my second set where I feel we could have gone quicker. So I'm just happy to be on the pole after making a mistake in the session.
A couple of years ago, there's people saying I couldn't drive on a street course, so you know, that's the best way to dispute that rumor. And just the fact that you know, this is a tight track, and anytime you can start up front, that's going to give you a better chance to win the race.
We'll be 4th on the grid. It's the best we've ever started here in Vancouver. So I think I'm looking forward to a good race tomorrow. You know, Dario's going to be tough up front, but I expect we'll be right up there too.
I was talking to my mechanics. We already start in the back and finish in the front. Tomorrow we have to try to start in the front and finish in the front. But I'm pretty pleased. Thank you for my guys, and we'll see tomorrow. Let's try to get my first podium here.
The key for us right now, we're not concentrating on this year and championship points. We're concentrating on what it's going to take to get ready for next year. I'm working more on my consistency, trying to finish at the best possible place that I can, and we've done that the last few races.
This reminder, you can see the Molson Indy Vancouver race Sunday afternoon right after the Cup race on ESPN, coverage beginning at 5 Eastern Time. And later in this show, where is Adrian Fernandez? The 2-time winner this year is 3rd in points, but has a long way to go if he's going to return to victory lane. His story later on RPM tonight. Still to come, remember last year, Team Winston celebrating last year's Top Fuel Championship with rookie driver Gary Scelzi? Well, this year, not much to celebrate for crew chief Alan Johnson. We'll get some answers from Johnson in the driver's seat.
I don't know that it's a nightmare because, yeah, we haven't had the success that we'd really wanted, but we're not displeased with the way we've been performing.
Also ahead on RPM tonight, we're going to head to Indy where $36,000 up for grabs, $15,000 for first place in the NHRA Bikes Dash. And back to Darlington where Dura-Lube 200 winner Dick Trickle wasn't having a good time at happy hour.
NASCAR driver and truck team owner Ernie Irvin spends a lot of time with his top technicians. And when they need a top-quality replacement part,
I got the problem, Ernie.
They know just who to call. They call a Federated Auto Parts professional.
Professional installers trust the Federated Auto Parts pros. They're the best in the business. The guys in the know.
They're the Federated Auto Parts pros.
This young man is about to save a life. Would you know what to do? If you arrive first, have someone go for help.
Don't move. Hey guys, call for help.
Then, to reduce the risk of fire, turn off the car's engine. Don't take chances if a car is burning. And never move a victim unless it's absolutely necessary. Learn more in this free book from Shell. Count on Shell.
Connect with Pro Performance Creatine. Research showed that creatine increased muscle performance by over 8%. And now during General Nutrition Center's Sports Nutrition Sale, you can pick up a kilo of Pro Performance Creatine made exclusively by GNC for only $49.99. That's only 25 cents a serving. Connect. Live strong. Live well.
Your day just never seems to start until you make one important stop.
How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Doing good now. Did somebody say McDonald's?
What a day. Couldn't be better.
RPM Tonight is being brought to you by the Olive Garden. When you're here, you're family.
As promised, the NHRA Pro Bike Dash in Indy. Matt Hines trying to win his third straight bike dash. Hines, near lane, beats Greg Underdahl to reach the finals. Hines 7.33 seconds, 179 miles per hour. And his crew, much joy. Hines in the finals to face Angel Sealing. Hines, the near lane, will beat Sealing to win the finals. Hines runs a 7.37 seconds to win, 182 miles per hour. Hines' third straight victory, and this man is $15,000 richer. So, here are your top qualifiers through Saturday. Corey Mack's time and speed held up from Friday. Tim Wilkerson used a great qualifying run on Saturday to take the funny car lead from Ron Capps. It's the 9th top qualifying effort of the season for Warren Johnson. He also set track records in time and speed, but Matt Hines sets a track record for elapsed time in pro stock motorcycles. Coming up Sunday, noon Eastern on RPM Today, Reese Davis will wake up with funny car points leader Ron Capps. Tune into the Deuce at noon Eastern. Now to Winston Cup. Among those hoping Saturday to find their starting spot in the Pepsi Southern 500 on ESPN was Jeremy Mayfield. Last spring at Darlington, Mayfield started 37th, which meant he pitted on the back stretch. Not a great place to be. He weaved his way, though, through the field and finished 4th. If he had only pitted on the front stretch. He gets his wish, though, the second time around at Darlington. Mayfield starts 27th, and there are 28 front stretch pits.
The last race here says that if we'd been pitting on the front stretch, I know we'd really had a good shot of winning, and I feel like that cost us. So maybe this time things will turn around a little bit. Even though we don't have the greatest pit spot, at least we're on the front stretch, we can at least be halfway equal with everybody.
As for Rookie of the Year contender Kenny Irwin, he wrecked his car in Friday's qualifying. Irwin ended up taking a provisional, and he's going to start 37th.
Say I'm real optimistic about tomorrow. You know, I don't know if I'd say that, but there's been a lot of races lately that I didn't think we were real good going into the race, and you know, that's when, you know, I count on Slugger and the guys with the Texaco team to do a good job, and it seems like every week they pull us through.
Slugger is Irwin's crew chief. So here is the back of the field for the Southern 500. Rick Mast, the last guy in on Friday. Ernie Irvin, the first guy in on Saturday. We heard from Mayfield. He's starting 27th. This is the 13th time this year Jimmy Spencer had to qualify for the show on the second day. He starts 29th. Steve Park, he's still struggling after coming back from his injury. He starts 31st. Wally Dallenbach with his third straight start of 34th or worse. And Terry Labonte is going to start 35th. That's his third worst start of the year. Brett Bodine is the last guy in on speed. He's the only driver to start all 23 races this year without a top 10 finish. Kenny Irwin forced to take his third provisional of the season, his first since Vegas. Row 21 is Jeff Green and Dennis Setzer. And DW takes his 6th straight Champions Provisional and 13th this season. At Winston Cup Happy Hour for Sunday's Pepsi Southern 500, tire wear, always crucial, especially at Darlington. You can see all the rubber laying on the track. Less than an hour after winning the Busch race, Dick Trickle wrecks his Winston Cup car. So, Trickle's team going the other way, rolling out the backup car for Sunday. What about Chad Little, who starts 17th? He hits the wall in turn 4 and picks up a Darlington stripe. Jeff Gordon starts 5th on Sunday, looking for his 10th win of the season. Gordon, one of 5 drivers eligible for the $1 million No Bull bonus. The other 4 include Mark Martin, who is the fastest in Happy Hour, 9-time Darlington winner Dale Earnhardt, Bobby Labonte, who rolls off 24th, and Mike Skinner, who starts 13th. But according to Mark Martin, Jeff Burton is the man to beat.
We're going to have a tough time keeping pace with the 99. We can just about do that right now, and I don't think anybody else can run with him.
He says that a lot. That doesn't always happen.
we were awfully good to start the practice. Then we put on a set of stickers, and we weren't good at all. And we put on another set of stickers, and we were real good again. So that concerns me a little bit.
Some familiar names at the top of the happy hour list. Mark Martin topping it with a speed just over 162 miles per hour. That's more than 6 miles per hour slower than Dale Jarrett's pole speed from Friday. Jarrett, by the way, was 6th fastest in happy hour. You know, it's a huge day of racing on ESPN Sunday. We just got to remind you, not only have you the Pepsi Southern 500, which you will see beginning at 1 Eastern Sunday. Remember, we got the kart, we got the cup. All this coming and beginning with the Pepsi Southern 500, 1 Eastern on ESPN. Up next on RPM tonight, we're going back to Vancouver for more results from qualifying for Sunday's Molson Kart event.
I know, it's just not fair. You get a little older, and what happens? Your hair falls out. What is that? Your hair falls out. Is that your story? Get a little thin up there? You know, you can have your hair back at no charge. That's right, there's no cost. I said free. Just call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB and receive your free booklet on how to get your hair back for free. We're the Hair Club for Men. We're not about drugs or surgery. What we are about is adding real human hair into your own. Hair that looks and feels like your own. A natural hairstyle for an active lifestyle. So call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB right now for a free brochure, your free hair, and for a limited time, an added bonus. A free vacation, 3-day, 2-night family vacation package at your choice of major resort hotels. All you have to do is prepay for a basic club plan. That's it. So make the call and get your hair back now by calling 1-800-HAIR-CLUB. That's 1-800-HAIR-CLUB.
It's ESPN Sunday Night Football, ladies and gents, with the Raiders and the Chiefs.
He's not a pirate, you stoop. He's a Raider.
He's a bloodthirsty pirate, a swashbuckler. He's ready for battle.
Yeah, but he's wearing an eye patch. He can't even see straight.
He's got a knife in his mouth. He's fearsome.
The knife isn't in his mouth. It's through his helmet.
Another good point.
Is everyone against me?
ESPN Sunday Night Football, the Raiders against the Chiefs. Coverage begins at 8:15.
Helio Castro-Neves will start 9th. He's in a battle with Tony Kanaan for Rookie of the Year. Jimmy Vassar starting inside row 8. That's his worst start since Long Beach back in April. Now, in Saturday's early morning practice, Adrian Fernandez loses control, hits the wall. Fernandez was fine. He'll start 21st.
The first time that I actually put a wheel on the curve, I thought it was not going to be a problem, and unfortunately just thrown me into the wall, and it was a pretty scary ride, but I'm fine, and you know, it was quite, that part of the track is very fast, and you know, there is not much room for mistake, and unfortunately we paid the price today.
For Fernandez, starting 21st, it's his worst ever starting position at Vancouver. Little Al, a 4-time winner at Vancouver, will start 22nd, and Max Pappas, Bobby Rahaal's replacement next year, he starts 23rd. Up next on RPM tonight, with 2 wins under their belt, Alan Johnson and Team Winston gearing up for this weekend's U.S. Nationals, looking to make up for last year's disappointment.
Attention, citizens, if you plan to be on the road seeking fun and recreation this summer, here's an important tip. Nothing beats 1-800-COLLECT for staying in touch. It's easy to use and costs 10 cents a minute every evening. And as Mr. Chaz McFeely here learned, failure to use 1-800-COLLECT can get you in trouble. So there you have it. Dial 1-800-COLLECT. It's easy, you can save a bundle, and you'll keep our furry friends happy. 1-800-COLLECT. 10 cents a minute every evening.
Mom, we're thirsty. Well, I've got 2 glasses of Sun Fizz coming right up. Sun Fizz, that's our favorite. That's because there's a delicious ray of sunshine in every drop. Come on, guys. I'm filled with nature's goodness. Hey, what's with you people? I've got vitamins and minerals.
Trust your gut, not some cartoon character.
NFL Tonight on ESPN2, Tuesday through Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Now, guys will have something to talk about.
In the driver's seat is brought to you by McDonald's drive-thru. Next time you're in the driver's seat, how about a stop at McDonald's drive-thru?
As you know, the NHRA's biggest event of the year, its Super Bowl, is being held this weekend at Raceway Park in Indianapolis. It was 2 years ago at this event that Alan Johnson watched his brother Blaine lose his life in a qualifying accident. Blaine's presence is evident and felt at every race Team Winston runs. It helped them win a championship last year. But this year, the run down the quarter mile hasn't been nearly as successful. Dave McClellan puts Alan Johnson in the driver's seat.
Gary Scelzi with a brilliant 460, 313 miles an hour. This team can do nothing wrong.
Last year was something that we really needed as a family and needed as a team to prove to ourselves and to everybody that, you know, we could do it.
It won't go to Gary Scelzi. They won this race last year. They're out of here in round number 1. That's not the way Scelzi wanted to open the year.
We've started doing some stuff that we hadn't had to in 3 years prior to this, and that's doing a lot more experimenting. And rather than going testing between races, we've opted to do it at the race. And it's kind of cost us a little bit. We're on our 3rd car right now this year.
Alan, one question particularly comes to mind. When you have a successful combination, why would you want to experiment?
Well, when you got a good tune-up, you'll try and keep it the same. The problem is other things influence that to where you can't keep it the same. We get parts that we have no control over. So we have to adapt to those things, and sometimes being able to adapt takes a pretty major change.
And it was Mike Dunn's turn to smoke the tires as Gary Scelzi goes to a 482 at 303 miles an hour, winning his 2nd event of the season.
I've been having some trouble over the last few races, and you know, I really called on Blaine Johnson today.
A couple of years ago, your family suffered the ultimate loss when Blaine lost his life in that qualifying accident. How much is his presence felt today in this team?
Extremely strong. Blaine's, you know, his presence here is constant, and we find ourselves all the time whenever we're in trouble. It's like, hey, Blaine, you got to bail us out of here. You know, I mean, it's tough sport, and it's nice to have something that you can fall back on, and Blaine's a perfect man for the job.
Alan Johnson literally watches his chances for an Indy title go up in smoke. How bad did it hurt last year when you went out in the 2nd round?
It hurt a lot. I mean, it was something that we didn't look forward to doing. But, you know, we felt like we had peaked at that race. We dominated qualifying. We were consistent all weekend. We just had a problem in the 2nd round, and we smoked the tires. But, you know, we sucked it up, and we went on the rest of the season and won the championship.
Some people say that maybe you're a little bit tough to get to know, that you're somewhat reserved, while Gary Scelzi is far more outgoing than you. Would you think that's an accurate description?
It probably is. I'm not really like that too much in my personal life, but here at the racetrack, you know, it's a pretty serious job for me, and I have to concentrate a lot on it. We don't really have, you know, a 2 crew chief team here. It's basically 1 crew chief and a real good team behind him, and it just takes a lot of concentration, and I have a hard time being real personable because it tends to break my concentration, and that's not going to be any good for my fans or my driver or the team.
What's harder, leading the points and having people try to catch you, or playing catch up and try to pick up on the leader?
I think that leading the points definitely has an added pressure that's involved because you're so afraid of screwing up. Because you're in the lead, and you're trailing, you have the sense of, well, there's no pressure on me. I haven't got anything to lose. I just need to go for it and win as many races as I can.
Coming into Indy, you're in 3rd in what is arguably the closest points race at this stage of the season. Assess your chances through the end of the year.
I like our chances a lot. Being only 3 rounds out of the lead, considering the trouble that we've gone through this year to get there, I think our chances are real good to win the championship again.
Well, through Saturday's qualifying in Indianapolis, the team of Alan Johnson and Gary Selzy was the 6th fastest top fuel dragster. RPM comes your way twice on Sunday. Reese Davis back at the wheel on RPM today at noon. We'll have previews of Cart from Vancouver. Bill Weber will join us from Darlington. Sunday night, 8 Eastern, Reese returns. See if Jeff Gordon can win his 4th straight Southern 500.
Hey, go work today, kid.
Thanks.
Slow-crafted Sam Adams. All in due time.
Introducing the Midas battery. Now for just $49.99 with rebate. Batteries, brand new from Midas.
Research showed that creatine increased muscle performance by over 8%. And now during GNC's sports nutrition sale, you can pick up a kilo of Pro Performance creatine for only $49.99. Live strong, live well.
I was born hungry, but I was born Italian. So that never happened again. Tonight, we had the perfect meal for us. The Olive Garden's never-ending pasta bowl. You pick any of their special pastas, and you get all the free refills you want. Ooh, spaghetti with meat sauce, fettuccine Alfredo, you name it. The bowls keep coming until you say, ooh, when? And the same for salad and breadsticks, all for $6.95.
I'm gonna eat it all.
That's Cousin Al. Nobody's ever heard this guy say when.
I love this place.
The Olive Garden. When you're here, you're family.
Richmond International Speedway hosts Craftsman Truck bad boys Ron Hornaday Jr. and Jack Sprague as they battle down the series home stretch. Virginia's for Lovers 200, Thursday at 8 on ESPN2.
Jeff Gordon recently tied a modern era record by winning 4 straight Winston Cup races. One of those he tied, Mark Martin. The 1993 Southern 500 was delayed 3 hours at the start by rain and was completed 16 laps short of its scheduled conclusion due to darkness. But Martin shined through to take that 4th straight win. He did it by leading all but 3 of the final 103 laps, and he did it today in NASCAR history, September 5th, 1993.
A win's a win, but to make it 4 in a row, it's special, man, I tell you.
That's it from here. Thanks for watching. Reese Davis back at you Sunday with 2 shows, RPM today at noon and RPM tonight at 8 Eastern. I'm Linda Cohn. Have a good one.
Away from the field, they are the Air Force Cadets, navigators of the sky. But on the field at
Busch races, that streak came to an end yesterday, but I think Dick was just fine with the results. Here are your highlights.
Pole sitter Mike McLaughlin was hoping to make up some ground on points leader Dale Earnhardt Jr. in yesterday's Dura-Lube 200 from Darlington. Jr. started all the way back in 34th place. Mark Martin was your leader by lap 30, but it was Earnhardt Jr. making most of the noise in the first half, climbing all the way to 4th by the time he came in for his first pit stop. Martin was right behind him on lap 74, but it was McLaughlin who was back in front after the cycle of green flag stops. With 37 to go, Martin passes Magic Shoes for first, but on the restart from the second caution, Martin is passed by a trio of drivers when his car has a vapor lock and no fuel pressure. 3 laps later, Dick Trickle was in the lead, but the race was far from over. One last yellow on lap 144 led to an all-out dash to the line between Trickle and a hard-charging Dale Jr., who was running on 4 new tires. Trickle would hold him off by a whisker to win the Dura-Lube 200 under caution. Mike McLaughlin finished 3rd, followed by Kevin LePage, Todd Bodine, and Matt Kenseth.
You're always all you feel, you know, and I like the sport. You know, I think I still got what it takes. I can contribute a lot to a team, and, you know, I'm just hoping to be around for a few more years. As soon as I lose the desire to not race and have fun and compete up front, then I'll quit.
I thought we could have beat him back, but I didn't push the issue. We'd already got lucky to run second, so we just take it home. Got 4 points, so that's what it's all about.
Well, unfortunately for Dick, the happiness didn't last long as he was involved in a happy hour crash. He'll start in the rear of the field for today's Southern 500. One other Busch note, next week in Richmond, the Busch cars will be running unleaded fuel in their cars. That's something Winston Cup is considering in 1999. All right, it's time to happen.
Well, with no warning, the car was pretty good right there. We just put a set of shocks on. I was happy with it. And I think what happens, rear brake locked up a little bit, getting into three there, and got the back end out from underneath me, and I couldn't bring it back. But these guys are working hard. Right then, we had the car pretty good, too.
Dick, do you think you can salvage this car?
I think Tommy and Tucci have already called for the backup car.
All right, so Dick Trickle will have to go to the back of the field in a backup car tomorrow in the Southern 500 after winning the Busch race at Darlington earlier today.
Tommy referring, of course, to Tommy Baldwin Jr., the crew chief on that car. On the racetrack, meanwhile, Dale Jarrett is out there
banning toy guns, and they're going to keep the real one.
Live Saturday, September 26th at the Mullen Center.
Did you ever look at your